Princess.
Hello!
Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of All Fun and Dice.
Shit.
So obviously, we'll address the not so elephants in the room. We have our players back.
Yay!
We're back to our full group again. Woo! So welcome back, Wes and Daniela. I pointed almost backwards.
Yeah,
So that, it's okay. So obviously super excited for them to have back. Not much other to say about that. We're excited to see their characters back in action or in action in general. Before we start, we do have something to do, so I'm going to hand it over to Travis.
Yeah. Well, first of all, we have our new improved backdrop. So everything looks
Finally.
nice and amazing. No more just white backdrop that, just look bland.
Yeah.
So, hope you guys like it.
Yeah, Rob's in an actual library.
I'm not in the room anymore.
Yeah.
I'm at a third-party location. They don't have to smell me. They don't have to see me. It's great.
Yeah.
But other than that, though, we gotta hand out the rest of the gifts that we got from Spirit.
Yes.
First up.
This says Merry Christmas.
Who's it for?
Daniela for Christmas. And I dropped yours. That's what I said. That's why I was like, at the beginning.
Should I open?
Yeah, one at a time. One at a time.
Yeah, one at a time.
Okay, Daniela, you first.
Okay.
That is so pretty.
Oh my.
Oh.
You guys
Yeah.
haven't seen it yet, I don't think. I think you guys.
We haven't seen them in
Look how
person
pretty
yet.
it is.
That's
I
Look
love
at the
it.
inside of it. Look at the inside of
The
it.
inside's
Yeah,
my
look at
favorite.
The
the
inside's
Is there
my
an inside
favorite
part
too.
that looks
The
nice
inside's
too?
like epic. It's nice and soft and everything.
Wow.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
It's like this really cool.
I love it.
Wow.
I can't see it,
Spirit.
Good.
Oh, it's
Oh
Great
my
job.
god.
Is that a wallpaper? I thought you were streaming from a dungeon. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
It's so pretty.
Okay, you're up
My
next.
turn. Okay. So Christmas is my favorite holiday, by the way.
Aww.
I get super depressed when it's over, so this is like super nice.
Extra
Yeah.
Christmas! Yay!
Oh my goodness.
Dude, look.
Wait, shield.
Oh, it's so
Look at that
good.
shield.
That's
That is
heinous.
It
awesome.
looks so cool. What's the inside of yours?
That
look
is
like?
so nice.
I don't remember what it.
I think it's perfectly knack is what it is.
Yeah.
It is.
It is. That is
Nice.
fantastic.
Wow.
She just
Wow.
Nick left all of our things at home.
I
left
forgot.
So,
I'm actually using
Thank
your
you
dice.
so much.
today.
actually,
Thank you.
mine's just really blown up behind me. So,
Yeah.
it's fine. It's okay.
Yeah, Spirit, you are so
Awesome.
talented.
Yeah,
Yes.
Spirit,
Yes.
thanks again so much.
Thank you
Yeah,
so
thank
much.
you.
I don't think she's here right
She's
now.
not
but
here right
No.
now. She's not able to make
Well,
Friday.
we'll plug her
Everyone,
Etsy
when you
page.
see
Yes,
her,
yeah.
she comes in.
Yeah, when you watch this later, Spirit. 'cause
If you guys get a chance to check out her Etsy page, it is.
Thecraftspirit.etsy.com.
She also has it in her profile on Discord, so you can easily click on it if you guys want to see what
Now
she
we
has
all have
available.
spirit dice.
Like,
things.
honestly,
We all
they're
have Spirit
so
dice
high
bags.
quality.
They're so
Yeah.
I love mine
nice.
so much.
Did you see Reno's hand painted?
I did.
Like,
yeah.
holy symbol,
Like,
it's...
actually,
So nice.
Yeah.
I know,
It's
it
super
sucks.
cool.
Pippin
love
had, like, Nick has a really good one for Pippin. It has little potion
My most
models on
prized
it.
Oh, that's really cool.
But,
But he forgot him somehow.
it's okay. It's okay.
We're running late.
That's
today.
fine. So, I think the title might be wrong on the stream, by the way, because it's actually session 23. But I think
the
it might
title's
say...
not on there, but.
Oh, sweet, okay. Then never mind. We're good. So we're just gonna, other than that, I don't think there's anything else that we need to say before we start. So we're just gonna jump right into this week's episode, session 23 of All Fun and Dice. With last night's liquor weighing heavily on them all, our group was escorted deep into the Grand Hive, towards their meeting with Queen Fizohep. Not knowing what to expect, the group was assaulted by Her Majesty's massive form and her intrusive voice in their minds. After the shock wore off, Fizohep offered augmentations that would allow our party to communicate in Orin in exchange for the investigation into a small Nipane waypoint that recently went silent. Despite some skepticism within the group, they ultimately accepted the job, leaving Akano behind and boarded a rosebud-like pod driven by another Nipane, Deneki. After what seemed like a few days, our heroes arrived at the waypoint, and while investigating another seemingly abandoned pod, they were attacked by a reanimated Nipane corpse. With no urge to stay longer than necessary, the group rushed into the waypoint itself. After sealing a jar full of wind and fighting off another group of corpses, our party reached the heart of the small hive, encountering the cause of the reanimated corpses, a dark and chaotic air elemental. We pick up today directly after Grace sealed the elemental inside its crystalline urn. You guys are sitting in the now destroyed room, couches and chairs blasted all over, books of strange design falling off of the shelves. Out of breath, hurts, with this glowing purple crystalline urn in your hands, Gray.
Oh, guys, I'm really hurt.
I'm just gonna fall back and
Is
sit
everyone
down.
okay?
Seems to be alright.
Yeah.
That was,
I think
pretty
so.
devastating.
Where's our little bug friend? Is she okay?
Did she live?
I'm here. And you look behind you, and like from behind the doorway, the small little form of Iktaneki will peek out. Her mandibles like clacking, and her antenna just wildly waving around. Obviously, like panicked.
Well, Iktaneki, I think the waypoint is cleared.
Yeah.
What was that?
Do I know?
You can roll Arcana.
I wish I could say.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You just.
You guys have an idea?
Give me a
Did
D20.
Pippin tie
I
the
did.
jar?
Nope.
Yeah, we tied it up like really.
Okay, we
Sorry. There you go.
Why you guys do that?
And tied up your canyon.
What am I rolling?
Tied up
Oh,
your-
yes.
Okay, so it's tied.
Arcana?
Okay.
23.
So you know that it was some sort of air elemental, but you can tell that air elementals, especially you would assume on the plane of air, would have a bit more sentience than what that one seemed to have. It seemed off to you.
Seemed like some sort of strange elemental. I would assume they'd have more sentience here on the plane of air.
Funny how.
How do you know that?
Yeah, I was just gonna say myself. How do you know
Well,
this?
I studied a lot in my alchemical pursuits. Sometimes elementals.
So you know how we captured the wind in the first one? Is that the same idea?
I would
I don't
assume
know.
so. You know how the other jar was shooting out like a tornado?
So are you saying there's one of those sentient beings in that one too?
Probably not sentient, but some sort of elemental magic has enchanted both of those things. On our way back to the hive, I can identify it probably with that pearl we got.
I don't want to be here any longer than we have to.
I agree. I think we should get out of here. Where's Tenaculum?
Tenaculum.
He's just like on the desk. Like he wasn't there a minute ago.
I think.
Lonan, could you grab him, please?
I
So
think
where's
that.
it?
He's just on the big desk that is kind of
Let me
like
grab
all
him
around.
then.
Yeah.
And put him on my shoulder.
I think the
Yes.
travel back would be good for resting.
Yeah, I can identify some items.
Yes.
Are
and
we
we're
good?
Tired.
Please stay close. Don't drop it too far away from us.
Well, we just have to go down the hallway. I don't think there's anything left in here. I
Wait,
mean,
with-
we could investigate
What
the
do
rest
we-
of the hive,
What
but
do you think we should tell your mother about your sisters?
The
Well,
truth, probably.
I think the
They-
queen. I think I could explain to her the majority of what happened.
And
I
you
think-
can let,
Except for
you can let
Lauren
her,
Yeah.
eating.
sorry, you can let her know that you
Fine.
can let her know that me tossing the body overboard was something that we needed to do in order to
Oh,
prevent.
she won't care about that.
She won't care about that.
No, in times of need, she would eat us as well. So
Oh, in that case, then nothing to worry
yeah,
about.
I
Either
care,
way.
but I know
guys-
you didn't mean any harm by it,
I
so
did
I
not.
forgive you about it
Thank
already.
you.
More importantly, we need to get to Eagle Point. I have that message from Knack.
Oh,
Okay,
what
let's
is
get
the
outta
Eagle
here.
Peak?
I don't know. Maybe we can ask
The
our-
queen.
The queen, yeah, she might
Yeah.
know.
Your strange traveling companions, the Simates, might know as well.
Our monkey
Oh.
friend, Ikano.
Is that his name?
That is his
Yeah.
name.
Well, but let's just go. We have a rest day's journey ahead of
Yeah.
us.
You know the breaths are wearing thin. We should head back.
What do you
soon.
mean? I have lots of breaths in my lungs.
Okay, let's go.
Well, let's go.
Okay. And so you guys exit the hive. It's actually not a very far walk. It only takes you about 5 minutes to get from the room you are in to the outside docking area. And you walk past the sesame, the sunflower seed-like pod where the door is still left open and ajar, back to your one that is more shaped like a rosebud, as you hunker down into the small, claustrophobic darkness for your journey. So it's another about 2 days journey. You guys can each say something small that you want to do on the journey if you'd like.
I will use my pearl to identify the 2 jars that we got.
And I am going to talk to Pippin.
I'm identifying. What do you want?
Pippin, sorry. I'm very concerned about my egg. How does my egg feel?
Your egg feels so during your fight. Everybody must remember, Lonan is in a wyvern onesie,
Yes.
And he has the egg strapped to his body.
Didn't he leave the egg in the?
We left it
He
in
left
the
the
shed.
egg with.
Oh, did
what's
you?
His name
Yeah.
in the
Oh,
snow globe.
Yes, you
Sorry.
haven't gone back in yet. The snow,
I
you
would
don't
like to
have
go
it.
back and get it. Yes.
Okay. So as you enter in,
I'll skip the whole like me saying vitriol and all that stuff part though.
now you get to see what Vigil's doing.
Okay.
Vigil is sitting in his chair, like with the egg on his lap, and he's like caressing it.
Vitriol,
Is he
how's
reading
it?
erotica to it?
Yeah. And then she said, bent over, and then he walks in. Hello, Ronan.
Good morning, Vitriol. How are you doing today?
I'm well.
I'm here to grab.
I'm just educating the being.
If you don't mind, I'm gonna take it with me. If that's okay.
Oh. Okay.
Well, feel free to come out and take a look at it while we're outside the snow.
I will.
And I'm gonna go outside.
Okay.
I'm gonna go back to Pippin. Is it possible that you can come up with some sort of idea of how I can like maybe keep it warm at certain times? I know you know potions. Maybe I can. Is there anything of some sort of what I'm worried about is that say we get into a fight or something happens really quickly, and I need to put it away from my body. I need to be able to keep it warm consistently, from what I can tell.
Why don't you just keep it in the snow globe?
I don't know if I can trust Vitriol with it.
Why not?
I don't know. I'm just what if it hatches inside the snow globe?
Then it'll probably bond to Vitriol and it'll think Vitriol's its mother.
I wanted to bond with myself.
Then you'll have to keep it on you the whole time and risk possibly breaking it. I mean, I don't really know of any potions that can maybe keep an egg from breaking. I mean, maybe I could make some sort of salve.
Loman, why don't you just make it like a soft cage so if it falls, it just bounces?
Is it possible you could make me something like that?
Why don't you just make it?
I'm not really. I mean, I can craft things, but I mean, maybe when we get to Knack, he can do something like that if he gets here. He's better at making things than I am.
Oh yes, Knack. I forgot you were communicating with him.
How could you forget?
I'm
This is
sorry.
like the biggest thing that's
Some of the things have
happened.
been happening the last little while. It's hard to keep track.
Yeah.
Being attacked by 2 tornadoes, it kind of keeps us on our
Speaking
toes.
of tornadoes,
Keeps you on your toes.
But
I've
anyways.
identified these 2 items.
Oh yes.
The first of them is called a gust bellows, the jar that we got in the first room that made that gusting wind.
Okay.
And basically, if you open the jar, it creates like an area of wind, and the person who's attuned to it isn't affected by the wind.
So it's a spell then.
It's a
creature.
magic item.
Ah wow. How often can you use it? As many as you want.
I think so. If a creature is attuned to the gust bellows, they may use a bonus action to control the wind as if using the
Read it first.
Okay. Using the gust of wind spells, centered on the gust bellows, ending the difficult terrain. Yeah, it doesn't say anything about a time restraint, so we can use it forever.
As long as we want. So.
As long as we want.
Wow. No way.
We need to like make some sort of machine with this thing.
Well, the fact that I said we can use it as many times as we want.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
You can never change it.
we can never change it.
We can increase our travel
no matter
speed
what
with this.
text gets added to it.
The pod dies in a fiery explosion.
Oh,
and,
The second item is called an Urn of the Fallen Jinn. So I guess that was some sort of jinn or genie that we were fighting, the
Ooh.
elemental. Basically, you can call forth a weapon made of like dark wind from the urn, and it can be whatever weapon you want.
A dark wind?
Yeah. Grady, you want this? You put them in the jar.
I mean, I have it in my lap. I'll take a look at it. Sure.
All right. Oh, sorry. My attunement spell was my identify spell was acting strange. Yeah, once closed, it can't be used until the following dawn.
Ah, must have missed over that.
Must have missed over that. Who wants this?
You can keep it, I believe. Might be a good idea for you to have it.
Okay.
Actually, on second thought, would I be able to have it?
No, you have so many items.
I was just thinking.
Why don't you look after that quiver you've never even looked at?
My quiver, that's correct.
Okay.
Okay, after he says that, I'm gonna start looking at my quiver. I have no idea what I'm looking at. But...
Okay, you're looking at it, and you can see like the dead plant that was in it originally is kind of like it's come to like the greenness has come back to it a little bit, but it looks like
I'm just gonna slowly add, like I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm gonna put a little bit of water from my water skin into it and just like see if I notice anything.
Okay, so nothing happens immediately, but I would imagine you would check by the end of your journey, and you notice
Yeah.
that it does perk up a little bit more, and you can see some small, fern-like fronds starting to come up from the base of it.
Okay. Periodically, at this point, we can just imagine that I'm gonna still drink from my water skin, but every time I take a drink, I'm going to water my backpack.
Okay,
Or sorry, my
your quiver,
yeah.
just it. into your bag. No, I understand what you
We'll
mean.
do so that way I don't have to like repeat it, but I will do that every time I take a drink, or
Okay.
like every time I take a snack.
Okay. So is there anything quick that the two of you wanted to do?
Erie's gonna sleep for a while
Okay.
because she was pretty hurt, and then she is going to continue to bother Pip with stories,
I'm gonna be like, wow.
and she's gonna be like, "What was your family like?" Like try to get him to also tell her.
My
her
father he was alright. You know, good enough, I suppose. He taught me a lot.
This one time, my dad, he took me and we went climbing these trees, and when we got to the top, we almost fell with it. And she's just gonna like want to
Ramble
another like
on
hour-long
and on.
story.
And I'm just gonna smile and nod.
And
like
then that
mixed
same snake that
potions.
was there the first time saved me.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to attune to this Jinn.
Okay. So, after a short amount of time, about an hour, you would estimate of
Do I just rub it?
what do you?
Yeah, Gray, what are you doing over there, Gray?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, right, not in front of Taneki.
Yeah, where's
I'm just cleaning
Tanakulo?
it off, alright? I'm just going to bed.
So, how would you want to be attuned? What are you doing with it for the hour?
Looking at it, rubbing the top of it,
Yeah.
maybe thinking about it.
Yeah.
I don't know how to
Me
attune
too.
to something.
Okay. So really, you're just investigating, and by the
Yeah.
end of the hour,
I'm
you
just like,
can
what is
feel
this?
a
Looking
difference,
at it,
and you can feel almost like it was like a drastic
Nick.
purple before, but by the end of the hour, and you focusing on it, it's kind of like feels calmer, and the color is much more subdued within it, and it doesn't feel like it's fighting anymore.
Okay. See that? I got it.
I will also attune to the gust fellows.
Okay, it's not as exciting.
I know how to do it. I'm just like, ding.
It's like the oven pops.
Microwavable popcorn or
Yeah.
something?
Yeah. Yes.
Your gene is ready.
But eventually you're able to focus, and you actually you have the very faint light of this small glass beaker that Pippin made for you last session. And you guys can see much better than him, but you can see Gray eventually pull up from the top of the jar, and as he's pulling, wind will like form in his hand before a dark, like a gusty glaive will form.
Whoa.
Cool.
From the jar, like he pulled it
Yeah,
out.
he's
I'm sorry,
like
I'm
pulling
gonna-
up from it, and it forms into. It's the same color as the
Dark
elemental, the dark wind. That
Can
you
I
had seen
ask a dumb
before.
question?
Of course.
What is a glaive?
A glaive is kind of like a spear, but it's more intense.
Yeah, it's more glavy.
It's
Yeah.
like, it's more slashy than pokey.
It's
That's
like,
actually a very
not-
good
It's like
description.
Yeah.
a really, really, really
Picture
long
like a
knife.
scimitar. You know, like a scimitar.
It's
like
a knife
It's like
with
a
really
sword at
hard
the end of a
stick.
pole.
on the end of a pole.
Yeah.
Like
A bit more ornate of a
Okay.
tip, generally.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Or
Yeah,
did-
Well, a
It's like
spear is like a
a
pointy
demonstration.
top. It's like a dagger on the end of
Got
a stick.
it. Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a halberd. Was that a good description?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, but yeah, that happens.
Okay, and then during the time while we're just sitting there, I just want to kind of like examine like how long does it last?
It lasts. You
Like,
notice
if I put
that
it down beside me, does it stay?
if you
there?
drop it, if you put it down beside you, you notice that in a few seconds it just dissipates
Okay.
into nothing. But you can easily pull it back out from inside the urn.
Wow. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Looks like I can give Akano his glaive back.
At one point during the journey, after I attune to the gust fellows, I will open it inside the pod.
So you will open it, and so as it opens, everyone's hair and like clothes just starts whipping around
In wind.
Whoa.
and like an awful like terrible screeching wind
close
sound,
it.
I'll close it.
and it'll just go quiet automatically. But
Fascinating.
Erie's hair is still like. So by the end of the 2 days, you guys sleep, you guys rest.
Yeah, we gotta heal up. Everyone heal up.
Yeah, everyone can do get to the max hit points. You had at least one long rest. You guys slow, and Iktaneki will kind of come up from her her symbiotic relationship with the ship, and kind of be
Cool.
sentient again, and be able to listen and be like, we've just landed. So I don't think we should hesitate at all. I'll bring you straight to Her Majesty Fizoet, and I will explain what is done, and then you guys can get your my sisters put into your brains.
What? Oh, yes. The grubs.
Yes, are you ready?
I am very interested and fascinated with this
Yes.
entire exchange.
Well,
Start the
follow
procedure.
me, everyone, follow me. And she'll touch the front of the pod, and the petal will bloom down once more. And you guys will see it's a bit brighter here, but it's the same kind of darkness and dampness and waxiness of the grand hive that you were used to. So Iktaneki, she will guide you through the hive once more. Its cramped, claustrophobic corridors with its bustling, small Naipan beetles moving to and fro beside you. Before she stops you once again before a door and entering before you. But after a few moments, she will let you in as well. Before you guys are greeted once more by the immense, almost larval-like massive body of Queen Fizoeb. Everybody can roll a perception check. Well, everybody who's in the room.
Oh, not good.
So start with Pippin. You can tell me what they are.
6.
What's that? 18.
14. I was gonna say it in French, but I couldn't.
Isn't it Cat Saintis?
Same.
No, it's not good.
No, I don't know. I don't know French.
Yours?
Oh, you're right. There is a special one. Whatever. Okay.
It's mirepoix.
21.
18.
18. So, Gray, Eerie, and Loden, you all notice that there's some strange, very small, almost like a foot tall, very, very dark looking creatures that seem to be creeping around and like running around the room. Some have little trays stacked up. There's 3 of them underneath one tray, and they're like bringing some sort of
Dark
plant.
creatures?
Yeah, they're very small and black. Eerie, you had a 21, you said?
Did you ever see this when we walked in?
You didn't see them originally. These are something new. You notice that it's almost like a small beetle-like creature, but much smaller than any of the other Naipan you've seen before. And much more thin and like emancipated looking. And they seem to be waiting on Queen Fizoeb.
Okay. Do they make me feel feelings?
You don't
How did they make me feel?
you don't
That
get
makes sense. Like,
it
that's
does
just
actually you don't feel
Yeah.
any this is all in the first like couple seconds upon walking into the room before your entire senses and your mind is filled with the booming thundering voice
Okay.
of Queen Vizoep. Welcome back,
Do they make me feel
strangers.
I will bow.
I will
I
also
will as
bow.
well.
Me too.
I see you have learned your manners.
Oh, it's him.
I
It's the
am
Queen's girl. Or
much
something.
pleased by this. Ikdaneki, my daughter, has explained to me the deeds you have done, and while regularly I would appreciate seeing this dark winds she speaks of, I will allow you to keep it. As she said, there is urgent matters you have to attend. Come forward now and receive my children.
Sorry, before we do this, what risks are there, just out of curiosity?
Risks? There are no risks. Not that I care about, at
I
least.
step forward. I am incredibly interested.
I'll go next.
I will shake. I'll be like shaking, and then be like, "Thank you, well, fees of hip." And I'll bow.
You are much welcome, child. Now come forward. Iktaneki has volunteered to do the honors.
I'm so scared about what's about to
Kevin
happen.
is like incredibly
Come
fascinated.
forward
I'm
now.
starting to feel feelings.
Come
Are you
forward.
feeling?
Yeah. Come forward
Okay.
now.
I'm
Do you guys step forward?
I'm going
Yeah, I
to
already
bow.
said I
Yeah,
did.
Pippin was already there, but I want to know.
I
Yeah.
step forward. Yeah.
So you guys all
I'm
step
waiting.
forward, and Iktaneki, the familiar small, about 2.5 foot creature, will step forward, and in her hands will be a really roughly hewn glass jar. And inside you can see small, probably only about an inch long, which is still fairly large, twisting dark
Oh.
purple larvae
Ew.
twisting inside of the jar, and you can count 6 of them
Me not like.
within the jar. Who shall be first?
Me, please.
Pippin, forward, please.
Okay. I'm gonna take my goggles off.
Yeah. You have to come down here.
Okay, I'll get down.
So you'll crouch, and Iktaneki will pull out with her long clawed fingers and raise the one to your ear,
Yeah.
Oh.
and you'll feel
Oh.
it's moving around.
And
As
I'm gonna be like,
and it feels you don't really feel anything. It doesn't hurt, but you feel like a pressure, almost like your ear is like expanding for a moment
fascinating.
before, and it's like uncomfortable for a little while, and after a moment it gets painful, and you feel a sharp prick at the base of your neck before it's gone, and you feel normal.
I'm gonna wipe the slime from my
So it
ears.
doesn't go in like your stomach, it goes on like the back of your neck.
Hello,
It goes inside your
Pippin
brain.
Frost, and you hear that in the Queen's voice.
Hello.
Good, it is done. But what the rest of you heard was the bellowing winds and the crashing thunders of the Orin language
Alright.
coming from Pippin's mouth.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
I'll go next.
Gray, you are next. And she'll repeat the same process for each of you in turn. And you feel the same pressure that leads to a pain, that leads to a sharp prick at the base of your neck. Before, there's only 2 grubs left in the jar. And Iktaneki will, who do I last, Lonan or Eerie? Eerie. Before Iktaneki will hand over the jar
Do you go
with
up?
the 2.
I'm waiting for it. I want to see.
Oh,
what-
he's waiting. He's not even.
Oh, you haven't even walked out? Okay, so, but...
There's 3 in the jar, though?
yeah, there's 3 in the jar.
Does everybody look okay? Like they're all.
Yeah, like Pippin's been fine the whole time.
Yeah.
I'll walk up then.
Okay.
I will take it.
Yeah.
Put it. Open up, Lonan. No, your ear.
Oh, sorry.
Before it goes in, it's the same experience for you.
I'm just like, I just eat it.
Oh, God.
We have
So
2
is it? Does it like? Does it? I wonder if it like attaches to our brain.
Yeah,
stems
is
or
this
something.
temporary or permanent?
No, it's permanent.
Oh, wow.
Don't
know-
worry.
Permanent.
Permanent.
Yeah, sorry guys.
It's
spearmint.
peppermint.
It's
I can't
spearmint.
talk right now because this worm's
The
in my brain.
Nightman larva shall not rest in your brains for long. Their bodies will dissolve into your systems, granting these powers to you the longer they stay. No harm will come to you. The language is the same as ever.
How long do we have until they go away?
Oh, I don't know. Does it matter?
But we will always know the language that if they
As
give.
long as you practice, it's the same as anything.
And these 2 worms in this jar, do we have to feed them?
Depends. Where's your location?
Oh, we were
Eagles
meaning to
Peak?
Eagle's Point.
Point.
Eagles Point, Eagles Point. I've heard of such things, not important to my kind, but I believe it is 2 rests journeys out,
Oh, so not far.
so they shall be fine. They may go dormant, but upon meeting the flesh, they will arise.
Just another question.
This is
quickly.
the final one. I tire. My mates are bringing dinner now. And you'll see the small creatures still approaching with food that they're like piling up.
Okay, we got.
In
I got
front.
one more question.
It's just like, it looks like plant matter of a sort
Make
of
this-
kind. Like
make it
grasses
count,
mixed
Ruben.
with like other
Make it
berries and
count?
other food you don't recognize.
What do you know of the alchemist Montello?
Montello. Not much. I have had the name spoken to me but once. A Githzerai passed through, attempting to breach my hive. I granted him access. He has said the name about
Alright.
a book.
A book.
He was looking for safe harbor for it,
He had it with him.
I believe. But paper and things of writing, they're no use to us, Naipan. We don't need such things. I believe he went on to the next place.
You don't know where.
I don't care. Alas. No.
Alright.
Hurry on. Hurry on. I believe your friends are at ES Terminal, where you were originally. Meet them there.
I'm going to like bow quickly, but being like, thank you, and kind of like backing away, like I want to get out of here.
And she'll just kind of like look at you with her large, complex eyes.
Does she have like hands at all?
Yeah, she has like, they're way smaller than like
I'm
the
gonna
rest
go
of her
through
body.
them.
They're like way too
Oh,
high.
no.
Thank you so much, my queen.
Now leave.
I'm gonna walk away. Oh, sorry, no. Deneki. Iktaneki.
Oh.
I appreciate all your help. And the queen, might I add, Iktaneki was very brave throughout this entire experience.
As
I don't
she
laugh
should
in
be.
character. But
As she is expected to be.
And I'm gonna walk with her.
Can I whisper to Lonan? Do you think we have time to stop at that bar for a drink?
No. we need to go.
I'm gonna bow, turn around, and leave.
I think that Nak would have really liked that bar.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you guys will be escorted out by a different set of protector Naipan, the larger 4 feet tall beetles with their large spears and glaives and scimitars. And they will guide you out of the hive before one flies you back to ES Terminal. And you will see the Gift of Variety, and you'll actually see Econo on the deck of it, kind of just like mopping.
I'm gonna say in
Naipan.
Aaron.
Oh.
That's the language we learned.
Yeah.
That
Orin.
was Naipan that we're speaking.
No,
No,
Orin.
Orin, okay.
The wind language.
Right.
I'm gonna say hello.
Oh, you guys worked. It's good now.
It is
Wonderful news. Wonderful news.
We have more important news. Is there a possibility that you could get us to Eagles Point as soon as possible?
Eagles Point.
Yes.
Well, it's a little bit out of the way, like 3 breaths out of the way, but we might be able to go. Is it important?
Grave importance.
Great. Is someone dying? I count
Well,
4 of you.
Not
Might be
dying. We don't know yet.
2
exactly.
more? We don't know.
We're
2
hoping
more.
someone will make a planar transit and land at that location.
Oh, like you spoke to Tyrelius about.
Correct.
Okay, that should be fine. There should be no issues. Well, get inside. Don't mind the spell. The Naipan spices are quite strong in the hold.
Oh no.
Oh
Is that what we have now? He traded everything for a bunch of like curry.
So as you guys go down, it's not like it's like you can still see the familiar size. It is less, but you can see some like sealed jars where the top are covered in like almost like a small hive of its own,
Oh,
of, like
okay.
a mound of wax. But you can smell a pungent, musky smell emanating from them.
Like
It's not
this
like
room.
disgusting. It's just like quite strong.
All right.
Okay.
I'm sure it'll taste good with
Let's
corn.
set sail.
So you guys lift off,
Skies.
and the 4 days go by. Business as usual. There is a kind of heavy storm for a few days. You guys seem to be have gotten unlucky, so you aren't able to go up on deck without risk of being blown off for quite some time. But towards the end of 8 breaths, about 4 days time, you guys hear Akano's voice shouting from above. Friends, come aboard! Come above! The winds have settled!
I'll crawl above.
I will as well too.
I will go above.
Lucky for us, everyone, we are here.
Oh, good.
Yes, do you see in the distance? The peak.
What does it look like?
I will
You guys
scan the
look.
horizon, even though there's no horizon.
There's no horizon.
There's
You
no
look out,
horizon.
and you can see behind. If you look behind you, you can see like a wall of storm clouds that looks like you even just like came right out of a thick barrier with lightning arcing across it.
Cool.
But in front of you, you see a small island with a tall, almost needle-like mountain coming straight out the top. It looks hundreds and hundreds of feet tall, covered in like mosses, and the base is covered in trees. Not very densely. It seems like a sparser island, but it's quite the sight to see. It's very unique, even based on floating islands that you've seen. And you can see on the bottom a glint of light. Something you wouldn't expect to see on a barren island. And at first it just looks like a glimmer of light. Before you see movement and arms.
What does it look like? Can we see it? Like,
You can only see
I
a
have I have my thing.
Oh, if you pull it out, you can see the glimmer light focus before a streak of red all over the face.
Oh my god.
And we're
I
gonna
think
jump.
it's Knack.
And we're gonna take a jump.
Yeah.
We jump?
No.
No, no, no.
And leap of faith.
Yeah, and then darkness.
The
Yeah,
end.
that's the end of it.
So, for the past few sessions, we've been on the plane of air. We're going to take a step back through the planes to the prime material,
Through time.
to a very familiar place,
Whoa,
the
flashback.
docks of Von Drassel. It's a clear sky, just after sunrise, early in the morning. The smell of the ocean is strong. The saltiness, the gulls crying above. As Knack, you see and watch Willowa and her ship and her crew waving you goodbye as they depart from the docks, leaving you on the shore, on the far left side of the city, Billy, who the carpenter, the Earth Ganassi, who you were closest to aboard the ship, informed you that this is a place known as oh my god, what? No, the city of Vondrassel, but you are in one of the 4 boroughs of Vondrassel, the Slopes. He said, in his typical slow, dopey voice, "Well, Knack, if you insist on going here, you probably won't be able to get out of the Slopes. Vondrassel's not much one for the dwarves."
Yeah. That's
And you-
unfortunate.
And you remember that as you watch, and you can see his and Willowa's hand waving you goodbye as they depart back to sea. And you're left in this bustling, cramped city. Behind you, the docks go on for a little bit. You're at the edge of one. You can see the water looks kind of dirty, a little algae filled. But behind you can see the dense, packed buildings of the Slopes. And even just looking down the rest, you can see that it looks like the dirtiest and most claustrophobic part of the city. What would you like to do?
What is Knack aware of at this point?
So, Knack has had his previous messages with Pippin. You know that they are on the plane of air. You had contacted them recently after you finished your mission. You had reached your island destination that Villona had shown you in a dream. And immediately after you felt the ability to contact Pippin. And you were luckily able to get one message to him, which he responded that he was on the plane of air. And then you responded back that you would get to him. And then you responded a third message, which you can decide whatever that was, but it never ended up getting through. But you never got a response for that last one. So you can imagine it didn't get through.
Well, Billy,
Billy's not there. You
Oh, he's
were
not- he's
you were
not.
remembering a conversation with Billy.
Oh,
Yeah,
left
Billy
the
was
ship.
waving on the
Oh,
ship with
I'm
Willow.
sorry, I thought you were
Yeah.
there with me.
No.
Okay, yes.
No, Billy. Yeah, Billy.
Yeah.
You were remembering
Billy.
Billy's
Yeah.
Billy's dopey voice was speaking in
Oh,
your
I'm
mind.
sorry, I misunderstood that.
He's like-
No, don't worry. I understand. I described it a little
Well,
weird,
Billy,
Okay.
there's like a seagull beside
but it's just a brown
You
seagull.
cheated.
She's like, I really gotta stop
Um,
drinking.
Yeah. Is there a library that I know of around?
You don't know any. No one on the ship had really known very much about Vondrassel. It
Okay.
wasn't on their typical trade routes.
Okay.
They were more trading in the Elven Seas and to the east and to the south of Kaderth. So they did not know very much about Vondrassel. You were lucky that Billy even knew about the Dwarven Quarter.
Okay. Is there a dock person near me?
You can look around. Roll perception.
8. Plus 4, so 12.
Oh, 12. Okay, not bad.
Yeah.
So you can see that in the morning, even though it's very, very early, you can see the bustling, very busy dock traffic of primarily actually dwarves, and with a scattering of humans and some other stranger races dotted through. But a vast majority, almost 80% of the people on the docks here are dwarves, bustling around. And you can see some going onto ships, pulling ropes and different cargo onto the ships and off of them, and some haggling, fishmongers lining closer to the buildings. So there's plenty of people around, but you can't quite tell whose job it is to keep track of anything. It all
Sure.
just seems like everybody's moving.
Okay, I will approach then a dwarvish fishmonger.
Yeah. So and you can tell it's a female from her dainty mustache, and with with some honey-colored hair. Hi. Hello there, friend. Would you like some fish?
Greetings, fish? No, I've had my fill,
Oh,
thank
then
you.
move along, son.
Well,
I'm selling fish here. Need to make my
okay,
copper.
Maybe. Oh, copper, yeah. I'll
Well-
take a fish.
How much would you like?
Well,
I have plenty of options. I have this trout and this salmon and this stingray. I've heard they're quite delicious this time of year.
yeah, the stingray is good. I can
5
take-
copper.
Oh, okay. What about 6 and you answer a question?
If you're willing to give me 6.
Sure.
And she'll slap a kind of dinner plate sized stingray into your hand. It's all slimy.
Delicious.
And it's the color of rust.
Great.
Yeah. So you can have a fish. It's a day's ration.
I'll probably just leave it.
You just drop it on the ground. Okay.
Is there a library in town that you know of, and can you point me to it?
In the slopes? Nah. We don't need no libraries here. We have dwarven word of mouth. Need nothing more.
What about a wizard? Is there a wizard in town?
That you can visit?
Well, just that there's one in town. Start with that.
I heard of an academy in Opaline, but I've never seen it myself.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, are you planning on going there?
Yes,
I wouldn't try. Do you have your papers?
I have papers.
I don't think I would not recommend going to Opaline.
Wow.
The city.
It's a matter.
And she'll like lean into you. The council and the guard don't much like dwarves.
No, nobody does.
Not here, at least.
Well,
It's a shame. But Paragon, I heard Paragon's a paradise. A wondrous place to live. I wish I could go back.
well, unfortunately, I must go.
And then you just like, as the conversation goes on, like you're taking steps back. And then you just kind of turn around. And do you want to stay on the docks, or what are you looking to do?
Do I know where Opaline is relative to?
You have no idea. You only know the name of the one district. You can imagine Opaline might be a district, but you know the slopes is the only district you know the name
I'll
of.
approach somebody else who I think is native to the slopes.
Roll perception.
22.
22. So there is actually, so a native to the slopes. So you see on the corner, do you want someone trustworthy? Because you rolled really well, so I'll give you, I'll let you choose exactly who you want.
Trustworthy.
So you can see a fellow kind of leaning against, a human-looking fellow with dark hair, about shoulder length, leaning against a doorway that looks like maybe it goes into a bar. Stronger type. You can maybe guess it would be some sort of bouncer to this kind of area, like a guard. No, not like a city guard. They're not in any sort of uniform, but they look like they are keeping track of people. People are like acknowledging them as they go into the bar. And you've seen, and as you're watching, you see them turn someone away who looks obviously too drunk for 6 in the morning.
Oh, it's only 6 in the morning?
It's like just
wow.
after sunrise.
I'll approach him.
Yeah.
Hello, sir.
Morning.
How are you?
Well, as good as I can be. Shift's almost done.
Wow. That's,
Ready for bed.
that's
What can I
good.
do you for? Would you
Um,
like to come in?
No, I'm looking for a bit of information, actually.
Information.
Yeah.
Depends. It might cost you.
Of course.
Ask your questions. I'll tell you after. You seem like a tired so.
I'm looking for, well, a means of travel, perhaps. I think I need to find a wizard, maybe.
Well, the Ochre Academy is your best bet for that, but unless you can look more like me, you're not getting over to Opaline.
Any other suggestions?
Depends on how legal you want them to be.
I mean, do I have to kill anybody? We're
Well,
good.
I've heard she's an eccentric, but head inside. Back left table, there's a woman sitting over there. Darker skin. Go talk to her inside.
Do I have to?
I'm gonna be honest, she's the only contact I know for this wizard. Do you want me to go get her for you?
Yeah, that'd probably be a good idea.
I can't guarantee she'll come out. And he'll head inside. Yeah. So as you, a few moments go by, people just keep, you're kind of standing almost in the middle of the road at this point. People bump into you slightly. As you wait and kind of wait. And just when you're starting to give up, this person's not coming back, the door opens to Daniela, you can describe your character.
So, too good to come to my office? So, my character, she has dark skin, short, kind of black-brown hair, bright green eyes, She wears a long cloak and tall boots, like leather black boots. And as far as anyone could tell, she is a human.
And this is what you see in the doorway. And you see the gentleman behind you, and he kind of like salutes to you and walks away.
Hello.
And you are...
My name is Knack.
So you're looking for my help,
Yeah. Well,
but you
I'm,
won't come in to my office.
Your office is the bar or the tavern?
Too good for a tavern?
Well,
You look like the
no.
drinking sort.
Yeah.
What can I do for you?
I understand that you might know someone who can help me. Someone powerful.
I know a lot of powerful people. You have to be a little bit more specific.
Oh. I'm looking for a wizard.
A wizard?
Mm-hmm.
Ah, interesting. And what for?
That's a long story.
Are you going to tell me the story?
Well, how about travel? I need her to help me travel, or him. Or they.
Travel where?
Somewhere that I can't get.
Well, I would assume that, but if you don't give me a little bit of details, I might not be able to help you.
Not on this plane.
Interesting. Yeah, I know a guy.
So, can we go?
For silver.
Okay. I'm gonna hand over 1 silver.
Okay.
Should ask for more.
Nah.
This is
Would
just
have
step
done it for
one.
free.
Yeah.
Alright, follow me.
And you will actually turn around and go back into the bar.
Oh,
I'm gonna look back because I feel like he's not following me.
Yeah.
Are you coming or not?
I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll follow in.
Start veering towards.
And actually, before you can even step forward, Bree would grab the back of your neck and direct you towards a staircase that is actually directly beside the door, leading down.
Well, it's nice going underground.
Sure. And your name was again?
Knack.
Ah, Bree. Put her there.
So as you guys are walking and descending, you quickly go down a set of staircase, and there's a lot of pathways in front of you. There's about 4. But Bree, without a hesitation, leads you down one of the ones, and it quickly becomes almost like a labyrinth underneath the building. And you can tell that you're not underneath the original building, or even the street that you were originally. And you're in maybe some sort of sewer network or in secret tunnels that Bree somehow knows that are underneath the city. Eventually, you start going up another staircase, and up and up and up, without windows. You can't quite see where you are, before eventually reaching a trapdoor at the very top above you.
I'm gonna do like a secret knock on the trapdoor.
Do what the knock sounds like.
Good.
And a moment will stop, and a moment will go by,
Someone write that
Secret.
down.
and you'll see almost like a line of silver go around the seam of the door as it will lift, and the silver will almost like turn into like a silvery dust appearing off of it before it creaks all the way open, and you don't see anyone upstairs, but you're meted by a smoky, foggy kind of drift down, smell of like sage and incense burning, and above you can see velvety tapestries hanging above, and the shine of daylight coming in from some windows that are beyond your vision.
Alright. Come on up, little boy.
What?
Yeah, come on.
Oh, okay.
Do you go first, or does Nat go first?
I'll have him go up first.
Okay, so Nat, upon entering the room, you see around desks and papers and towering bookshelves with small arrow-like windows, letting in streaks of sunlight from the new day. And you can see, wrapped around, covered in cushions and wrapped in a dark violet cloak with tons of paper and complicated parchments and inks and books open on a small ground level desk in front of this creature. A raven with deep purple feathers flecked through with white. Eyes like a sky, but the blue is white and the white is pink. Eyes almost look like they have without sight. Blind almost, but as soon as you enter, the beak will go directly in direction. And it'll creak open. Hello.
Have I encountered one of these creatures before?
Roll a history check.
21.
21. You have not encountered one personally, but you have heard tell of this creature, of a creature like this. You would imagine, you can't quite see based on all the cloakings, but you would imagine it's some sort of Aarakocra. But upon looking closer and the kind of corvid features, you would guess it's probably more of a Kenku than if anything.
That's not something you see ever.
Shush you. Your Majesty, Wind, how are you?
I am well, Bree. Who is this you bring before me today?
Well, this little guy here is looking for some help to get into a different plane, but I'll let him explain because he was a little bit secretive.
Of course. Let's see what secrets you can keep from me.
That was pretty much it. I need to go to the plane of air.
Ah, plane of air.
Yeah.
Ooh, a treat for you.
Ah, easy, simple. But Bree, this is important for us.
Yeah, I know.
Good. You remember? You know what must be done then?
I do.
Before I can make the relic that will bring you there, I need something from you both. Something meaningful, important. It is your payment. Ah, everyone has much.
You gotta give her something.
And as she speaks and move, you can't see it, but you can hear like the clanking of different jewelries, and you can imagine there's an immense wealth underneath the cloaks.
I'm gonna pull out a key
Ah,
and give it to her.
well done, Bree. But I had no doubts. And you, Knack.
I don't know. You're
Knack. And she'll kind of look up, and her eyes will move. We'll call you that for now. Tell me, what do you have for me?
Seems you already have something.
Not enough.
Oh. I don't know. Here, look. Lay that
Ah.
in my bag.
This is not how it works. But you do remind me of someone, so I may be lenient. An old friend. Someone from home. Someone far, far away. Never thought I would miss Lorewood. But
What is happening?
I require something from you.
I don't know. I have these scrolls.
What are the scrolls?
They're empty scrolls.
You have to be so difficult.
I have what I have on my body.
Your wedding
Like,
ring.
and that's it.
Here's some paper.
Yeah.
If
Well, I
you
mean,
don't
I guess
give
I
her
could have a
something
wedding
of it-
ring.
Yeah.
You have lots of stuff. They gave you stuff when you left.
I
Yeah.
don't know. I didn't write it down.
Oh my god. Oh my
You don't get to
lord.
come to the planet Air.
Yeah.
Come on, Bree.
Bree's going alone.
Here's my wedding ring.
Well, you do care for your wife and your son. I guess the sentiment is enough. And she'll give you the ring back. and she will return the key to you as well. Hold on now. This will get rocky. And she's going to lift her dark shriveled talon and pull a feather from her own body. It is mostly the dark violet, but it has a burst of white on the top. Before I go, come back to me, Bree. I will not lose another companion. And she'll blow out. And it just seems like a normal breath at first. But after a moment, it will swirl and twist, and you can see the body of the feathers start to blow, almost like it's in a midsummer's gust of wind, and it begins to sparkle. A dark, dark color, speckled, almost like the sky. And she will hand it to you. I don't know. I can't see who you are going to meet. But no, Bree will be one of your party members from here on. If it is not, I will know. And if when you make it back to the material plane, I expect a visit sooner rather than later.
Okay.
Now go. This is a totem. It will bring you to Eagle's Points, an island in the plane of air. Hopefully it is close to where you must go. Now be gone. And she'll reach out a hand, shaking hands to you, Bree.
And I'll kiss it.
And it's covered.
like
It
very
has each finger has
theatrically.
8 rings on it. There's a shit ton of rings on her hand. And she'll kind of just close her eyes and sit back.
She like a Sketskis from the Dark Crystal.
It's very sketsy, 100%.
Okay.
Except
I was trying to
gore-
picture this
except she's
this
kind of
girl
like
thing.
imagine a pretty sketsy. Yeah, she's pretty.
She's got some moves.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fireball.
Do you know what to do with this?
Just think where you need to go. And hold on.
Do we have to hold hands or something?
Well, we probably should. And I'll reach my hand out.
Is it safe to use here?
It's gonna work.
Does-
Come on.
Okay.
You reach out and you'll think. The names that she's given you, Eagle's Point. And you'll feel a gust slowly start to pick up around you. And when you open your eyes, you see a cyclone spinning around you, multicolored, almost like quicksilver, spinning and spinning and spinning around you. But it seems calm. You're at the center of a tornado. You're not in its midst. And you fall, and you fall. But it's careful. It's aimed. It's meaningful. And before you know it, your feet touch ground again. But you didn't realize that you were off the ground. And you look around you, and you see an endless sky of blue. And now we're back on the plane of air. The 6 of you sitting around on broken tree stumps and rocks, as Nak and Bree, in tandem, have told you the story of their transition onto the plane of air. So you guys are all fully aware of exactly what they just told you.
So they were just telling us the story?
Yeah.
Cool.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Mac, it's been so long. How was your journey?
Adventurous.
Nice to meet you. I'm Pippin.
Oh yes,
Bree.
this is Bree.
Put her there.
And then I'm gonna be like,
Alright.
Nice to meet you, Bree.
Nice to meet you.
Kiss the hand.
I'm not gonna put my hand out, but I'm gonna be like, hi, I'm Eerie.
Oh,
Are
yes.
you?
Nak. Yeah. Important to note for Nak. Eerie is a tall, slender, white creature
yeah.
with dark black eyes. Very alien. You have never seen a creature like this before, Bree.
Okay.
Except I don't have a weird.
This is Bree's primal form.
What?
Bree.
Brie.
Bree.
Oh, sorry.
Eerie.
This is Bree. It's like you changed into Bree.
This is Bree, and this is Bree's primal form.
This is Bree, and then you look over,
Sorry,
and
guys,
Eerie is
I'm-
also
And
Bree.
I'm also Bree. and
Yeah,
this
because
is
she has
Bree.
turned into you.
I
How's
see
it going?
I
Name's
like
Gray.
Evan,
Yeah.
am I I sober right now?
Yeah.
You
So-
are.
She's a
I'm not really
change-
paying attention. I'm kind of just like, chatting.
Yeah,
with-
I'll like take you to the side. Lorwood, she's a changeling.
Oh my god.
Oh. Knack, she's a changeling.
Ruined everything.
And have you noticed I also have a dent in my head now?
No, it's that thing that we're talking for you.
Yeah. Oh my god.
The room's confused.
Oh, okay, wow. Have I heard of a changeling before?
Roll Arcana.
18.
No, you've never heard the term before.
Basically, she can change her form to look like anybody she wants.
Now that's a skill I'd love to have.
Like,
It's pretty
like what?
stressful.
Eerie, turn into me.
And I'm gonna like blush like I'm kind of embarrassed.
Are you still Bree, or did you go back?
No, I never was Bree.
Oh, that was a joke. Okay.
That was just a joke. No,
Yeah.
actually. I'm going to just kind of like screw my face up a little bit.
And I'll smile.
And the white hair will kind of like, you can see it spiral, and as it spirals and tightens, it turns into the teal of Pippin's hair, and her face will like melt like a pool of water and like change into Pippin.
I'm still wearing my clothes though.
Yeah, in her clothes.
Yeah.
Which actually it fits fairly well.
That's,
Isn't that cool?
Isn't that cool?
Yeah,
It was a little bit to get used to at first, I would say that.
I would agree.
By the way, do you still have my magic cup? Did you
Yes,
keep
I
good- Did you keep good care of it? Did it treat you well?
It did. I did write that one down.
So
Oh, you didn't want to give it
so
away?
where's Mola?
whatever.
Well, yeah, that's a bit of a sad story.
Oh
She,
no.
well, upon being no, not that way.
She's dead.
The ship collapsed.
Well, I mean, she found her crew. She didn't want to leave again, so she was sad not to return to everybody, but she has her purpose.
She did leave you with a gift, though. Her handkerchief.
Oh yeah, I have this.
Oh, did she blow her nose
Yeah.
with it?
No, and as you shifted, it like shimmers between the yellow, the blue,
Oh,
and the
her
red.
scarf.
Yes.
Cool.
I said handkerchief. It's
Yeah.
like it's like a big bandana,
kerchief.
basically, right? Yeah.
Well,
it's a kerchief.
I didn't expect two of you, but I prepared a quick lesson on the plane of air on our journey here. This is the plane of air, and I'll gesture around us, and then I'll pull out a little like drawing that I've made. There is no day or night, just blue skies everywhere, except sometimes storms. And don't fall, because you'll fall forever.
Both of you roll perception. Well, when he says storms.
Nat one.
Okay, Knack is engrossed in the lesson.
That's a 6.
A 6, and you do notice behind Pippin, he's like nothing but blue skies. And you notice there's a big wall of gray cloud. And it's not even like scattered cloud. It's almost like it's like blocking off part of the world.
I don't think you're quite right about that.
No, I've been
actually.
studying the plane extensively since our time here.
Have you?
Yes, I've prepared schematics. I've.
Have you happened to look around your own self lately?
And then I'm gonna be like,
And like you look up, and in front of
Doing a
you,
lot of
it's like pretty
experiments.
clear, nice skies.
and I'm like, and then I'll turn around.
And it's the wall, and you had just exit. You knew you were in the storm beforehand.
Yeah.
And you kind of just realized.
Oh, is that coming towards us?
It certainly
Everybody
looks
else can
like
roll
it.
perception.
Sorry.
I don't know what it is.
Including
see it,
Pippin
13.
can.
17.
Okay, 17.
5.
19.
19.
10.
So, Eerie and Lonan, you do notice that it is starting to like churn and shift and come towards you at it almost like a little bit of a rapid pace.
Is
Is
our
it-
pods landed somewhere? Close
No
by?
pods. You guys you're back on the gift of variety. So it is tethered off to the side, and there's like the rope bridge set up between you that Nanimao, one of Akano's children, has set up for you guys, but they had respectfully stayed on the ship.
But can we take shelter in the ship from the storm?
You probably can, but
Safely?
it seems like it's like maybe a little while off. It's not like it's not gonna hit like in 5 minutes.
Okay.
It's gonna hit like in like maybe an hour.
Oh,
We should be careful because there's a storm coming in, it seems.
yeah. The weather here is quite erratic, I
Yeah.
guess.
So So not always blue skies.
No, not always.
This lesson, very informative.
There are some truths. Don't fall. That's a good one.
Yeah. Always have a parachute.
Oh,
Yeah,
is that a thing you could make?
I don't know. I probably would just fall.
Well,
I'll
speaking
make
of making
some
something, I'm gonna show my wyvern egg.
So what it looks like to you, he hasn't said what it is yet. He's like a big rock. It's like almost like a unpolished like garnet almost.
Okay.
One
Or
wyvern
amethyst.
egg. And I'm trying to keep it as safe as possible. Knack, I know that you, I remember anyways, I think you used to be good at tinkering. Can you perhaps make some sort of contraption that can keep this protected in case if my body harm getting hit or anything like that? And when you look at me, I'm wearing like a onesie, like a dino onesie, and I have like the face like onesie on, and then I have like a little kangaroo pouch in my front.
With the egg in it.
It's very handmade. It's not like a.
It's not
store-bought
gorgeous, yeah.
onesie.
No.
Is there little wings on the back?
He opens his arms and it's like a triangle.
So you want an indestructible shell for the shell.
Yes, because I don't know how indestructible this shell of the egg can actually be.
We could find out.
I don't know. I'm trying to find that out.
No?
Should we get back to the ship?
Hang on,
Yeah.
maybe.
Okay.
Great, we're brainstorming.
The storm's coming.
Should we be carrying around a wyvern egg?
16?
I
Yeah.
don't see any reason why we shouldn't.
We killed its parents and found it.
Right.
And
That
from,
all
what
seems really, really smart.
and from what I've known is, as soon as they're
I would
I'm-
like to note that I was not conscious for this and had no say.
Yeah.
they were butchering it while you were unconscious.
He was having like an identity crisis below deck.
Yes.
Wow.
That was something else.
is it a problem that I have this? I'm confused. I've been carrying for that how long have we been? Like
Like,
2 weeks maybe?
not quite. Like almost 2 weeks. So almost 20 days.
Carrying for this for quite a long time.
Uh-huh.
Almost a full month.
No, that's like not even half a month.
Not even half a month.
A week is 10 days. A month is 50 days.
According to the Kadarthi calendar.
Plenty of breaths have gone by, and
Have I heard of any stories of people raising wyverns from hatchlings and?
Roll a history check. Great. While this conversation is happening, a crack of thunder like arcs through the cloud, but you hear almost like a different noise, like almost like synonymous with the thunder. It almost sounds like a shriek.
Hey guys, we should really get going.
and
I
as
made
he's
some
saying
potions.
that, are you interrupting when he's talking?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have some flying potions that I've prepared for you guys in case you fall, and I'll hand you both a flying potion.
We should really get going, guys.
Might we add, they only last
Just
for
saying.
a day.
Is he
10
Kano
minutes.
with us?
Yeah, and then they wear off.
What?
Is he Kano with us?
No,
Like,
Hano,
only
I'm not
10
staying on the
minutes in
ship.
the jar.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
gonna
no,
start
Once I have it.
looking a little
Yes,
nervous.
once you
and
got it.
walking,
You'll
getting
grow
up and
wings
like
for 10 minutes.
backing away from the conversation towards them.
Roll perception.
We should
I'm an
get
alchemist.
going.
So, Mac, how long until this wyvern thing is prepared?
19.
Wow. I rolled the
We'll
third.
wait for them to talk a little bit more. Keep talking.
I rolled
We
the
keep
13.
so every time Gray starts talking, me and Pippin are interrupting because we're
Yeah,
so
we're
we're so happy to see
Yeah.
like Knack and stuff.
So
Yeah,
I
so
rolled,
keep talking, and I'm gonna say something else after.
I rolled a 13 on my. Is it okay to
You
raise a wyvern?
have heard of wyverns, but it's not something that is native to Kadarth, which you have spent the majority of your life. You know that they are located somewhere in the sea, within the Sea of Whimsy, that they are known to breed, but you don't really know too much. You haven't really investigated dragons a lot personally, and they don't have a lot of interest to you, other than like maybe their hide. So yeah, you don't really, you know that wyverns exist. You've heard like what you think might just be like an urban legend of like elf
Yeah.
wyvern riders, but because you know that they're not as intelligent as dragons, so they're more mounty, but like you've never heard of like an actual story. It's more like yeah, my sister's brother's aunt's ex-boyfriend told me that like an elf can ride a wyvern. Like that's what you've heard.
Okay. Well, I have an idea. Maybe I can kind of make like a shell to go over it that straps to your body.
like an iron womb.
Can it stay?
Yes.
So
I would be interested in helping you
I have-
craft.
I have a question. Would it be possible to keep that warm longer than the egg? I guess what I'm saying is, like, say I took the piece of iron and I warmed it up next to a fire.
Yeah.
Would that be too warm against my body?
Well, probably.
So,
Well,
eerie.
But we can insulate it so that like
Ah.
your belly heat provides heat to the egg.
I'm
As
gonna
this
float-
conversation is happening, eerie and great, you both see another crack of lightning because everybody else is kind of engrossed in the weird conversation of this womb. But you
Yeah,
guys are
like
kind of
totally.
fixated and are both standing now while the rest of the group is sitting and watching the sky. And another arc of lightning. And this one time much more clearly, both of you hear a cry, avian in nature, but bellowingly loud. You can't see where it's coming from. But it sounds like it's coming from the direction of the storm. And you can see a shape, almost like darts, along. And like swoop, massive shape, swoop along.
Do we hear
Inside the you don't. You guys see this shape. It's almost it just looks like a blob, but you can see a distinct darker shape like swoop and then disappear back into the clouds.
Did you see that?
I am summoning my glaive.
Okay, so you pull out of this wind glaive.
You guys,
We should really.
I know you're having
go.
a very intense conversation,
Mhm.
but I think that we need to get ready because
Mm-hmm.
Get ready for story.
well, this storm seems pretty big, and I think it's more than just a storm. I
Yeah.
just saw something inside.
It seems pretty lively.
Looking up, do
We
see
should
anything?
go.
Looking up into the clouds. Roll perception.
Actually, I'm gonna be like, I don't see anything. I'm not gonna roll.
Okay.
I rolled a 5.
A 5. You
I don't see
anything
nothing.
either.
I think you guys are just a little bit paranoid.
I'm gonna
Bree
flip
and Act, you guys want to roll as well?
Yeah. Okay. Oops.
What was I rolling?
perception.
So 16.
16? Can you roll?
You rolled a
Bad.
2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Bree, while looking up in the clouds, you don't see anything clearly, but looking around the island, you can see that there are broken. You realize you're sitting on a broken tree, which seems strange for a deserted island in the middle of the plane of air. And why does this island have a name? Eagle's Point.
It's a giant eagle.
And you look and you can see scattered around on the ground, you can see broken twigs and the stumps of long dead trees. Almost in the section where you guys are, almost like it's a place where a creature lands.
All right, sit yourselves. And
Yeah.
I'm gonna be like,
Mac, what did you say this place was called again?
Eagle's Point.
Yeah, perhaps we should listen.
And as
I'm already like-
as Bree says, listen,
I'm following.
a crack of lightning much louder than before. And the thunder after boom, followed by a loud screech as it draws your attention towards the clouds. And you can see a shape. Large.
how big would you compare it to?
Comparable to the body of the ship.
What? Are you kidding me?
Its its body is comparable.
Can
to
I
the
try
And
to
body.
then
find?
it has wings.
And its wingspan gliding out. It's hard to see even against the backdrop of the sky. As it flies and as it approaches, you can see its wings almost seem to mesh with the colors of the clouds behind it. And as it gets closer, you can see lightning arcing off of its wings.
Zapdos.
Oh dear.
And as it flies closer, you guys are almost like stricken with shock as it lands. As Erie's running
Yeah, Iris like
between
she
you
still looks like Pippin by the way.
between Pippin lands between you and the ship
Oh.
as it towers almost 2.5 stories tall. A large thunderbird.
Oh no.
And that's where we're gonna take a break for the night.
Zapdos.
break time.
I
Break
can't
time.
be back.
Guys.
So good job so far, guys.
Yeah.
Awesome role playing. Awesome to have you guys back. So we're gonna be back in about 10 minutes here for the second half of our session. Thank you all for tuning in, and don't forget to stick around. Hello, everybody. This looks awesome. Okay.
It does look so good.
Oh, I'm so happy.
Nice.
Okay.
We're
we
back.
Just move.
Welcome back,
The
everybody.
starting gong.
Move this back a little bit, guys.
Take it away.
Okay.
Thank you. Awesome. Remove the glare. That is the biggest success of the whole stream so far.
Yeah.
Welcome back, everybody, to session 23 of AllFunNDice Reunited. The last thing that happened before the break is Nak and Bree finished telling their tale about their journey to the plane of air, thanks to the mysterious wizard Wind. And they were all talking about a variety of things, iron wombs for the wyvern egg, when Eerie and Gray noticed a strange shape flying through the thundercloud that they had just exited, that the gift of variety had just exited out of, before a large gargantuan thunderbird soared out of the cloud and landed, on which Bree realized that this might be either a resting stop or a nesting ground for this type of creature.
Oh my god, it's enormous.
So as turning around, how much taller than Gray is it?
It is probably like, so I'll use Eerie because Eerie is the one
Eerie's the
closest
one
to it.
standing literally.
Oh,
But
I thought it
am,
was Gray.
I am Pippin sized right now.
And but Pippin and Eerie are about the same size anyways.
Pippin's 5'5".
It's about 5 times taller than Eerie.
It's 25?
2 stories.
It's like 2.5 stories tall.
200 feet?
Oh, math is hard.
Yeah. It's 200 feet tall.
200.
It's
Oh.
Yeah, the Thunderbird in its natural habitat.
Alright.
As it just plucks Eerie and just like
As
whips
it
her around.
sees its
So
friend.
everybody can roll initiative.
Alright.
No.
First initiative for
Eerie
Bree as a
is
character,
first.
Nak in the year 2020.
Oh.
Also, you guys can have a sneak peek at look how
11.
long my stat block for this creature is.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Nice.
that's not bad.
So we're gonna go classic. 25 to 20.
Keep going.
Okay. We have some Dex characters in the party.
I swear.
19 to 15.
19.
I am. Can't do math.
16.
17.
200.
No, 6. 14 plus 3 is
17.
17.
It's like divided by.
That was not a large number.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oops.
Okay. 14 to 14 to 10.
11.
Oh man.
Look at your stats right now. Plus 5.
9 to 5.
8.
7.
Hey.
Logan goes left. For Nak. You know, this is typical for Nak, though.
It is.
Okay, so Eerie, right at the top of the round, Thunderbird crashes down in front of you. It is not, you're not right next to it yet. It is, the space it's taking up is like, it's like 5 feet away from you. But it's, you can't see anything else in front of you. You can't even see, like your peripherals can't even see past it.
Okay.
And its feathers almost like blend, and you can see bits of brown, almost like it's trying to, like its feathers are kind of trying to mimic the brown of the ship behind it.
Okay. I'm going to like do a little like like such a high pitched scream that it's just like and God, I'm gonna try and stealth. again. I
There's
can't.
nowhere to hide. It sees you. It's right in your like vision. There is to your left this big blob. It is a top. I'm trying to do it topographically. So this is like the spire that goes really tall.
Okay.
So like the purple is like a slope up to the red, up to the blue, and it goes higher and higher than that. So this is like a mountainy area here.
And how big is it? Can I run around it?
Yeah, this is like hundreds of feet tall.
But not wide.
Oh, no, it's pretty wide. It's like 25 feet wide.
Well, I'm going to, I guess, take a dash.
Okay, dash. So do you want to just run first and then see if you need to dash?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna run
How
for
much
it.
your movement?
My movement is, well, my speed is 40.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. This is where you get for 40. So you want to dash?
Yeah, I want to be like
45,
behind
50,
it.
55, 60, 65, 70,
Okay.
80. And he's just like,
Later.
okay, then that's your action.
That's my action.
There you go.
Okay.
So next up is Pippin. So Pippin, you see the Thunderbird crash down in front of you, and then you watch yourself run behind the pillar, and then you realize that you're that you're in the group
You
of
watch
people.
yourself. That's right. I still look like
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm like disoriented and I'm like, is it like storming all around us now?
It is. The storm is like following through it. But you can see that like arcs of lightning are like arcing across the body of the Thunderbird. It almost has like a mist pooling at its feet.
I'm like, oh no, okay, and I'm gonna like dig through my bag really quick and like throw bottles around and dig around, and then I'm gonna pull out like a new vial that's like this like volcanic like pink fluid, and I'm gonna be like, Gray, come here, and I'm gonna pour it on top of you.
So you're gonna run to Gray?
Yes, and cast enlarge.
Oh, nice.
You didn't tell me you had
I didn't know
this.
you had that.
What is that even?
Conveniently. You'll need to draw a large Gray. But
Yeah.
for now, Gray, you feel your body, first it's one arm and the other, and you burst up, and your clothes goes with you.
Like
And the glaive also grows and like doom, 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 and lightning arcs through it as it grows dark.
Oh.
like Space Jam.
Yes,
Yeah.
very Space Jam. Come on and slam.
Oh my god.
So what
So
actually
as Gray,
happens?
it appears massive because you already have your glaive out.
Yeah, so just so you know, so your size is doubled in all dimensions, and your weight is multiplied by 8. You increase your size by 1 category. Until the spell ends, the target also has advantage on strength checks and strength saving throws. The target's weapons also grow to match its size.
Mm-hmm.
While weapons are enlarged, the target's attacks with them deal an extra 1d4 damage. You deal extra damage.
Whoa. Yeah. Okay, so
Nice.
that's your action,
Bonus action, I'm gonna have Tenaculum.
which is on your body. We're just gonna say.
I'm gonna have Tenaculum fly over and attach to Giant Gray.
Okay, so we'll say. I'm gonna give you Tenaculum
Are you just
because
trying to
Tenaculum's
this
on
big
you.
tank?
So that's gonna remind you that you wear
Wait, is
Tenaculum.
Canaculum also?
No, Tenaculum's
Oh,
little
okay.
stuff.
So
So Tenaculum's like a pimple.
Yeah, Tenaculum's gonna be like right on Gray's like forehead, and I'm gonna be like, Tenaculum, use acid spittle.
Doesn't matter.
Okay, it's good. Yep. So you can.
Not 20!
Oh,
It
It
doesn't
never
want to
happens.
Tenaculum's first natural 20
Usually he ends up burning lemon somehow.
all the time.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Yeah, so nat 20 hits.
Gosh.
Oh, what the? That's not right. I made this stat block and it says it has 25 armor, but that's wrong.
Oh my god.
That does 6 acid damage.
As it kind of spittles and like runs down, and the bird doesn't even seem to notice. It is like it's like kind of like as the Pippin Eerie ran, it kind of like cocked its head like a chicken and kind of stared at you. So it doesn't even look over at what's happening at you guys yet.
And that's my turn.
Okay.
I made
Next
Big
up
Gray.
is Big Gray, BG.
Well, time to go to work. So I'm going to bonus action Vow of Enmity.
Okay, as the mist around its feet darkens into churning storm clouds, as your chaotic holy energy like infuses the bird.
And I guess I'll
Destroy it.
go stand 10 feet away from it.
5, 10, 15, 20. Okay, we'll say that.
And I guess I'll lift my giant, enormous glaive and
Yeah.
come down right on it.
Okay, roll ahead.
Okay.
So his weapons become large as well too.
It's huge, yeah.
That's pretty cool. Did
How
you
does this
know
last again?
we were about to fight a giant eagle?
No, I had
No, he did
Okay,
not.
okay.
No, 100%.
I
He
feel like
did not know
Nick
any
knows
of this.
everything.
20
He's like this lord person
26?
26 hits.
Okay. You know what? I'm feeling juicy. I'll add a smite to that.
I'm feeling juicy.
Yes.
Yeah, you're looking juicy.
Whoa! You know, I can feel it through my veins. So yeah. So basically, my shadows are getting twisted up into the
I love it.
the stormy glaive,
And
it's
the already
just-
dark purple glaive just darkens the color, almost like the color of the night now.
And I'm thinking when I release my attack, it'll just do like that gust.
Oh, so like it
Oh,
almost
yes.
really, so it kind of hits and doesn't quite hit it, but like a gust of wind plows into the bird's body.
Yeah.
So really, is this level 1 or 2 smite?
It's just a level.
Level 1 smite.
So let's do the d10 damage. So that's gonna be 7 damage,
7 damage.
and then it's gonna be 2d8. Wow, 12
Nice.
extra points of damage.
12
Nice.
extra points of damage. So as the wind gusts into it, you can see an impact on its feathers, and they kind of discolor back. They kind of lose their iridescence for a moment, and go like a kind of like classic like sky blue, before, and as soon as the wind like lets up, they go back to normal, and the bird whips its head around you, and its large, almost like sun-like eyes look straight at you,
And then
and it caws.
I'm gonna twist around and do another attack.
Okay, so it was 12 damage,
This
right?
thing's gonna like
For
destroy
it
us.
was
We're dead.
yeah, it was 12 damage for the smite, and
What am I
then
gonna do when it
the
puts its leg and be like,
the other stuff for the blade hit.
Wait. So wait, what'd you say?
The smite did 12 damage.
Yeah, and then it was another 7 for the glaive. Yeah, I already did. I just
Okay.
needed the radiant damage.
And then that was gonna be a 20 to hit.
20 hits.
Okay, this one's just gonna be normal.
A normie hit.
That's gonna be 14 more points.
14 more points of damage, as this one just kind of pierces
Worthington.
through. But you don't feel it like sink into flesh. It just kind of pierces the feathers.
And I'm gonna brace for impact.
Brace for impact. As it turns, and before its turn, it is going to turn to you.
And lightning breath.
And its eyes are going to shine, and they're going to seem to like grow infinitely brighter.
Oh no, what is
Wait,
it doing?
oh,
Yes.
was I supposed to add d4s?
It's your damage.
Oh yeah, roll it. We'll let you do
For
that.
every-
Yeah.
Okay, but just see this thing do damage. Like I'm.
So 4
So extra 4.
and an extra
Two.
2. Okay,
That's why I
and
just-
damage.
Because you're big.
Okay, so everybody that can see the bird within 60 feet is
Oh my
gonna
God.
make.
I can't see it though because.
No, you're fine. Everybody else will
Y'all
be making
should've
the
ran.
saving throw.
Pippin was
My back's
blinking.
turned.
Yeah, I closed my
No.
eyes. I was waiting.
You can see it, and you'll be able to see it through your eyelids.
Oh,
As an
no.
immense
I have
flash of light followed by a deafening, shattering boom. And you don't see the light, but you can see like dust falling from the mountainside. As you guys all make a constitution saving
Would that
throw.
be?
My back is turned. Does that count for you?
No, you're still getting it.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's everybody in the area.
Everyone except me then.
Okay.
I got.
Yeah, everybody but you. Because you are blocked from it.
I'm proficient. in-
It's like within its line of sight.
22.
Nice.
So we'll start with Gray.
You don't want to start with Gray.
Oh, well, you're right in front.
5.
22.
18.
23.
Oh, so
Okay, so you guys will take full damage, and as the light shines, your vision goes cloudy, and it's almost like you can't see. You guys are gonna be blinded.
Oh,
Wow.
good. Permanently.
no. Probably
I
not.
think
I will each give you
Well,
one
it's a
or
bright
two.
light.
Does it like reduce your like, or does it do disadvantage for all attacks or something?
Okay.
That's a condition. They have the card. How much damage
Yeah,
did we
let's
take,
read the
DM?
card.
So a blinded creature can't see and automatically fails any ability check that requires sight. Attack rolls against the creature have advantage, and the creature's attack rolls have disadvantage.
Oh no.
So you will be taking Gray and Knack. You will be taking 6 lightning damage and 7 radiant damage. As the burst. No, sorry, that's wrong. 6 lightning damage and 7 thunder damage. As the burst of light blinds your eyes and the booming like rings in your ears. You guys, on the other side, will take 3 of each.
So just
6.
Yeah, 3 lightning, 3 thunder. I don't know what your resistance is. You have to tell me that. That's why I'm telling you each.
I
day.
don't
I
have
don't-
any
do
resistance.
we even have resistance?
No, we're only level. I don't even
I
know
don't
what
know.
level we
What
are.
should do
I don't know. Maybe Bree does. Who
Nope.
knows?
Nope.
it shows like I get the same weapon.
Okay. And so now
Excuse me.
the bird will attack.
Oh.
Oh my god. That wasn't its.
I'm
was that?
ready.
Was that
It
just
was
like?
its legendary action.
Oh, no, this is a big boss.
Yeah.
So it will take a step. So it's gonna smash down at you, Gray, with its beak.
Oh,
Against the attack rolls against the creature have advantage.
No.
I'm picturing like a giant chicken from like the Bugs Life.
So that is a. Do you want to hear what it is to hit?
Yes.
A 31 to hit.
That does it. Yep.
Okay, that hits.
31.
What is it?
Yeah.
Plus 12.
Jesus.
So it's you are gonna take 13 slashing damage and 7 lightning damage as the beak pierces into your shoulder, and you'll feel like a burst of static electricity.
Okay.
Before it's gonna take a step forward and slash out with its talon at you as well. So now you're within 5 feet of it. That is another 31 to hit.
Yep.
So you're gonna take. Um, 18 slashing damage.
I am unconscious.
God.
What the heck? This thing is one hit.
Yep.
Seriously?
I rolled very high on all my rolls.
It just one hit you.
And he's large too.
Should we be running?
I am on-
Yeah. Yeah.
It's in between you and the ship.
Oh, we have to.
So as Gray form will shrink.
No, he doesn't shrink.
No?
I'm concentrating on the
Oh, so Gray will be locked into the talons of the bird. Grappled. You're grappled and blinded. Actually, the blinded is done because it will only last until the end of your next turn. So you're fine. We'll say it's done because you're unconscious.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay. Next up is Bree. So you just watched this bird like smash and whip, and this large form is now unconscious of this newly met Gray. You think his name is Gray, but it also could be like Guy.
Earlier in the day, you were just gonna
Guy.
say
Gee.
Guy.
Yeah, Gray or Gee.
What the heck did I get myself? All right. How far am I away from the birdie bird?
35 feet.
Oh, not
You can
30.
move.
You can take a step forward.
I wanted to move right to it.
right up to it.
I'll allow it.
Oh no.
No, not quite. You're close, but
If I'm within 5 feet, though, I can touch it. Correct? Or no?
No, you have to be right up.
you have to be right beside it.
Oh,
So
okay.
it would be 35 feet to touch it.
Doopy doopy. That was my whole plan. And
Oh,
it's
I never
no.
used that one.
I need to touch it.
Wait, one
It
second.
hasn't changed since.
Oh, wait. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. This actually gets you there.
Yeah, you're
It
good.
I was counting here. Yeah, you're good. You're literally kitty
Alright.
corner to
So
it.
I am walking up to it, hoping it's distracted.
Yeah, it's kind of like bird head is like twitching and like going back and forth. It's making like.
Pay attention to Guy. Pay attention to Guy. Okay. And I'm going to just touch it ever so slightly.
As you touch it, you take 2 lightning damage.
It's totally
As
fine.
static electricity shocks you.
That's fine. You said 2, right?
Yep,
I'll
just
write
2.
that down for now. And I am going to bestow curse.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So
A
the
curse.
curse.
Do I make a saving throw at all?
So for whenever you're attacking, you have to do a wisdom saving throw, and if you fail it,
Oh, I don't have to make a roll to resist it, right? It just
No.
happens. Nice.
and so when you're making an attack,
Mhm.
you have to roll. If you fail the wisdom, you waste your turn.
Okay, there
What do
we
you mean,
go.
like when it comes to his turn?
So
he
when
can't
it's the
use it?
bird's turn and he rolls wisdom and he rolls like a 2, he just can't do anything.
So, are you done your turn?
That's all I'm gonna
How
do.
long does
So
that
the
last?
the
And I
bird
did that.
will feel your touch and turn its head towards you and attempt to make an attack at you. But I have to make a wisdom saving throw first, correct?
Yes.
10.
Is that a pass or a fail?
It's a fail.
What?
a
fail.
what? I didn't
Spell
do spell
safety.
safety.
Oh, it's my
yeah.
it's my spell save.
Definitely a fail.
Yeah, it's a fail. It's 16.
Yeah, I failed.
Oh,
So there we
that's
go.
good.
So the bird
Nice.
looks at you and kind of like goes to like, you can see it like craning its neck back. And it almost like hits like a barrier. It's like, and it turns its head and blinks around.
I'm gonna wink at it.
Is the lightning and storm around it like purple now?
I did.
Because it's cursed.
No, you noticed the purple. It actually was already really dark beneath its feet, but that melted away when Gray fell unconscious. But no, you don't see an effect. Bree, you can see where the mark is yourself. You can see almost like, I'm not sure what symbol you would want it to look like, or if a symbol at all. But you can see where you touched it, and you can see the curse mark.
It's a little music note.
There you go.
Ooh.
Love it. Next up is Knack.
I can't see.
I'm blind.
I'm blind.
Worthington, get him.
Oh
Oh.
no! Wah, wah.
We didn't get to that part.
Where's Worthington?
He's
We
back.
can-
You can respond. You can respond after his turn because it's your turn.
So do I need to see to do this? No. Okay, so I am going to.
How do you know you're facing in the right direction?
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, that's a good point.
He drinks the beer.
I'm going to pat myself down
Okay.
and come up with a handful of soot, and I'm just gonna blow on it, and I'm gonna cast blindness at the bird.
Oh yeah. Does it say a creature? What does it say for the
It just
range?
says verbal.
You're like, if you're
oh, the
on
range
blind,
Yeah.
you're
is 30
blind.
feet.
No, because it's in the spell description.
Yeah, 30 feet.
No,
No.
What do you mean?
Do you need
Blindness,
visual?
deafness.
Yeah.
So it says
You
you can blind or
you can
deafen a
see
foe.
within range.
Yeah, choose
Does
one
it say
creature
that?
that you can
Yeah.
see within range.
Yeah.
He saw it before he went blind.
No.
If
He
you would
was
like,
turned around.
you can roll a.
No, sorry, I was.
Okay. If,
Well, yeah, you know what? I did it. I said I was going to
If
do
you
it.
okay,
so-
then I will let you roll an Arcana check to see how potent you are at your spellcasting enough to
You're
know
gonna
that you
blind
would do it in
Bree
the right
instead.
direction. That's a not one.
13 plus 14 total.
14. Oh, you don't, I thought you were proficient in Arcana.
Nope.
No. 14.
Yeah.
I will say it. I will roll. I have to make a Constitution saving throw. I will roll with advantage on it.
That's fair.
Yeah, very good, Rob.
Because it's like you're like kind of like you can see what is the magic look? Describe the magic as I roll.
There's my soot.
Yeah, so you blow the soot. So you blow the soot, and it kind of swirls, and like you can see embers like burning within the soot as it flies. But it's not flying like straight at the bird. It's flying like slightly to the right. What am I making? A Constitution?
Yeah.
25.
Yeah.
Yeah. I rolled bad the first time, but good. That's good this time.
Read your spells.
That's okay.
It's okay.
So that so it was a good try. Is that the rest of your turn?
Don't they get 2 attacks?
I will.
That's a spell, and he doesn't get that.
I'll just like ready myself with my axe and shield.
Okay, so you can pull it out, and as you're pulling out your axe and shield, the glittering light fades from your eyes.
Cool.
So you're
So
no
you can
longer
see?
blind.
You can see again. Yep, and you can see that the bird. You can see the small misty fire of your soot flying off into the sky. And now Lion.
Yeah.
So the last thing you heard was, "Where's Worthington?"
And then I don't even respond. I'm just like a small tear falls down my side,
Oh.
on my face, and I'm going to pull out. I'm going to look at my quiver. What does it look like? I've been taking care of it for
It
the
has been
past
4 days.
4
So
days.
you see, and you've noticed that the ferny growth of the tendril of the fern has blossomed, and it's almost spilling out the sides. And just a day ago, you actually realized that if you put an arrow in, it wraps around the base of the arrow,
Cool.
the ferny fronds.
So it's just on the base of the arrows right now.
Yep, it's wrapped around the base.
Okay.
So not the head.
Yeah.
You could put it in head first, but you notice that around the fletching,
Okay.
there's fern.
Does it connect to the quiver?
Yeah, he hasn't practiced with it yet, so I'm not gonna say anything
I
else.
take an arrow out that is not attached to it. If I can how does it work? Are they all attached to it?
They're all attached.
Oh, I'll just take it out anyways.
Okay, just a normal arrow.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm going to not the barbed one. I'm going to keep my
Yep.
barbed one for a little bit.
Okay.
All right. 23.
23 hits.
All right. This one I'm going to make a spicy one.
A spicy one?
Nice
Is it a
spicy.
spicy arrow?
Yeah.
Oh wow!
Wow.
There's like a jalapeno pepper on the end
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah, that's what kind of vines come up. They're like chili sprout off of
Yeah,
them.
he's just
Actually, maybe
Little red chili peppers.
what's the chance of getting a D20 or of getting a D20? What do you think?
Oh, you
A nat
have
20?
my book. That's
You
what
did
it is.
2 nat 20s last session
Yeah.
True.
against the
Should I save
useless.
it?
Just do damage.
Just roll your
I'll
yeah.
roll my number one right now.
Yeah, you can decide after. It doesn't have to be right when. You can decide after the damage.
So
Nice.
9 piercing.
9 piercing. Okay, as it pierces, and it actually doesn't pierce into its hide. It bounces off, but you can see that it affects the feathers in that
Okay.
area. It doesn't just pierce through though.
And I will do grasping arrows this time.
The grasping arrow. So as the arrow hits, and the fronds and the ferny nature, it connects from your quiver as it flies and hits the bird. The arrow misses, but the fern lets go and wraps around the body, spreading thorns.
So 2d6.
Yep.
4, 6, 10 poison damage.
10 poison
Nice.
damage.
I-
Nice.
A speed reduced by 10, and it takes 2d slashings if it's not teleported away.
Yep. As the spicy barbs pierce its flesh,
Spicy.
it kind of struggles a little bit, but its wings, you see, are sadly not bound to its side.
So when I'm doing these shots, I'm doing like one after another.
Okay.
There's no really no like time in between them. Oh, not one.
Not one.
You somehow hit me.
No,
Am I
On the other
grappled?
side of the mountain.
No, I'm gonna roll a d6 for me first.
Oh no.
Even is gray, odd is
2.
green. I said even is gray. So now roll to hit gray.
Oh.
Because it
With
was a
advantage.
He's already.
With
no.
advantage.
It's a stray arrow.
Okay.
It's a
6.
stray arrow.
6.
6 misses. The arrow does not hit gray.
No, 6 damage.
Six
You
damage.
No, roll to hit gray.
Real
Oh.
d20.
Yeah, d20 first.
Oh, okay, that's really low. Sorry, that is 12.
Okay, that misses.
Nice.
The arrow misses gray as it flies, and it looks like it's gonna arc, and the wind is gonna gust and hit
Like
him,
right
but
in
it,
front of its face.
but it lands between the bird and gray. So
Um,
ne-
I have a bonus action, but
Oh,
I am not going to do anything.
Okay.
I'm going to yell at Pippin. Pippin, do you have any more of those potions? And that's it.
Okay, so next up is the top of the round, and it's Eerie. So you heard screaming, and you heard, "Where's Worthington?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it can't take its turn this turn, right? Because of
They can. It would take damage if it moves.
it what?
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, it can take its turn. We've basically, so it's rooted by Lonan, by all these like
And
vines.
it's cursed by Brave.
And it's cursed by Bree. So if it moves, it takes damage. And if it tries to attack you, it has to roll to like, because of the curse, and it might miss because of the
Yeah,
curse.
it might not be able to attack.
Okay, I'm pretty far away, anyways. What do you think would be the shortest route back?
Like, to,
Like steps, distance
it
wise.
would be like the same.
It'd be the same.
Actually, this way shorter.
All right, I'm gonna try. I'm not dashing this time. I'm just running back
Okay.
around.
So, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. So this is what you get.
Okay.
As you just keep sprinting around the rock, no
Essentially,
stopping.
yeah, I pretty much just ran out of.
And then Pippin comes back around.
Yeah.
Peary.
Fury.
Peary. Also, this is for completely out of character, but I don't know if my name was redone, but it's spelled wrong.
Is it actually?
Yeah,
I think it's been spelled wrong the whole time.
That's
yeah,
like
it might
that
have been
the whole
spelled like wrong the entire time.
Yep, the whole
It's
time.
supposed to be E-I-R-E,
Yep.
not E-R-I.
I think it might be spelled wrong the
No,
whole
but
time.
we're in the plane of air. It's spelled like that in the plane
Oh,
of air.
okay.
Yeah, that's how you spell it.
You know, you can see it's spelled right below me
That
right
one
now.
is. I think it's the other one.
Anyway,
I don't know. Okay.
I noticed it and I was like, no. So
Just like we weren't in Discord thing too.
I don't have very many distance attacks. What distance can my darts go?
30 feet.
I don't think I'm close enough.
No, you're just out of it. You can bonus action dash up into range.
Yeah,
It would spend a key point though.
that's fine.
Okay, so you're gonna step in the wind, and as you see, you jump a little bit, and you manage to like get one last breath.
Okay.
As you 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, and you're up here,
Okay.
right beside the creature.
So right back where I started.
Yep.
You just went like
10 feet to the left.
Yeah.
To be fair,
And not the
I
same.
also didn't get knocked out.
Yeah,
So yet.
Alright. Who's next?
Was that a
that was her
bonus
bonus action.
Yeah,
She
was
still has her action.
Oh, I have my action still.
Yeah,
I
you
can attack still.
Yeah, you just bonus action.
You
for
can
that.
bonus action dash because you're a monk.
Yeah, that's why you spent a key point to do
Wow.
Yep.
Okay. I want to punch it.
that. Okay,
So yeah, I'm gonna punch it.
so punch it. As you make contact with your fist, you take 3 lightning damage.
Oh.
3.
Yep.
I would update my stats, but my phone battery is at 1%.
That's okay.
It's getting lost. But I was at 33, so I'm taking 3.
Yep.
So I'm at 30 now. I'm gonna keep track.
Okay.
And I rolled 21.
21 hits.
And so I would like to stunning strike.
Oh, wow.
So
Just like
I'm
that.
spending another key point, so I'm
Okay.
at 3 now.
So now I roll a Constitution saving throw.
Yes.
We are putting so much debuffs.
Just to confirm, how
on
do
this
key points
thing.
work anyways?
26.
They're like spell slots.
So you can-
Which it has to be like 14,
Yeah.
right? I can still fail. Don't worry. I can still fail it.
Every time I do that, it doesn't work.
It's really
You
good
for
when
it's
it
worked at
works,
least
though.
once.
When it does work, it's very
I
satisfying.
know.
Yeah.
So
Don't worry. You have 3 key points.
right now the bird has to take wisdom saving throw, or it can't be.
So it can't attack, and she's gonna. Erie's trying to stun
and it
it.
can't move.
It can. No, it can't move, or else it takes damage.
I
It
have a
can move.
question. Well, I'll ask him my next turn. It's fine.
Okay.
If it moves 5 tick damage?
Who's that?
Erie can take her second attack. Yeah, I'm just waiting for Erie.
Well, I'm gonna try and.
Oh, wait, sorry, you didn't tell me your damage yet.
Oh, I didn't roll damage yet.
Yeah.
'Cause I was doing
Stunning strike.
Stunning
Yeah.
strike.
Tell me your damage first, and then roll your next attack.
7.
7? Nice. Okay. So now your next attack.
Next attack, I'm not gonna fist. I'm not gonna punch it.
So you
because-
punch once, and you.
And I'm like, ooh, don't do that. I'm gonna try and hit it with my quarterstaff
Okay.
instead. So I'm gonna.
So you. And
I'm
then,
gonna.
oh, double hand. Okay.
Yeah, double hand it. Oh,
Oh.
no, that's not good.
Was it 10? 10 misses.
Okay. All right.
So you gotta do it really cool, and it like you swing, and it just like is like an inch away
I'm
from
not
the
close
bird.
enough. How did my arms reach?
You stumbled back from the shot.
Got it. Yeah.
Next up is the bird is actually going to take a legendary action
No.
to look down at Erie after the punch and try to attack her. The first is going to make a wisdom saving throw. Not 20. So it is going to be able to hit you with its. Actually, wait, sorry. It can't do that because it's standing on its foot and the other foot has gray in it. So never mind. It wastes its legendary action, moving gray slightly in its foot.
Wouldn't it get hurt from moving? Or would
No,
I-
it's like physical movement.
Oh.
I can attack. It just can't like.
It can't
move
It's
move
10
from
feet.
its place.
Move from its
Okay.
place.
Yeah. So next up is Pippin.
Okay, I'm gonna go.
Yay.
Oh no, Gray! Oh no! And I'm gonna run over to Gray really quick,
5, 10, 15, 20.
and I'm gonna take.
No, 15. 15 is fine.
I'm gonna take a syringe out of my bag and stab it right into him.
It's gray?
Yeah, and heal him. And that is going to be Healing Word. So,
Healing word.
Healing Word is a spell that I can cast.
Really?
Word.
Healing syringe.
Healing
Syringe.
Syringe.
It's a
And
spell.
that is going to be 12.
Yep.
And
Disgusting amounts of healing.
and then-
Insane.
and then as soon as he like gasps like I'm gonna take a potion bottle and just like chuck it into his giant mouth.
Okay, good. And that's your action.
Glass
And that's my
everything.
action. Glass and
Does it
everything.
do this?
It's okay, it's really
He
dissolvable.
dies of eternal
And that's gonna be a healing potion.
Okay, well, say you don't throw the actual thing. You like throw the elixir in.
Yeah, I dump it in. I'm like
Yeah.
into his mouth. And that is going to be for 12 more healing.
Wow.
That is strong.
Wait. I think you only had that 5 once.
I did.
No, did you? Was the 12 just purely based on the rolls?
So this 12 was because the healing potion is 2d4 plus my intelligence bonus.
Okay, yeah. I thought you added the other intelligence plus 5.
No.
Yeah. Okay, no, we're good.
That's a
You know your
lot.
character.
So I heal you up as much as I can.
Almost
and
to full, eh?
Halfway.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That's
You're
good,
welcome.
really,
I'm an
thank you.
alchemist, and that's my turn.
Okay, so next up is Greg, and you're not blinded anymore. You open your eyes, and you didn't even see these hits hit you. You felt this slashing, and you're still in the bird's grasp. Though. You're still grappled. So you can pass me back. I'm blinded though. Oh, you
you
need
already
it.
got it. Yeah. Okay. Grab
Yes.
it. I'm gonna try and so I have I'm gonna try to break the grapple if I can.
Okay, use your action.
You have
And-
advantage on strength
Yes. So let's try to see if I can wrestle my way out of here.
because you're enlarged.
You do have advantage on strength.
Okay, that's gonna be is it saving throw or just normal?
It's an athletics check.
It
Oh,
should say- It
athletics?
should say on your card.
It doesn't. Also, condition ends if the grappler is incapacitated and speed becomes 0.
Yeah, it's an athletics check.
Okay, so that is going to be 17, 20, 24.
24. You flex your muscles really tight and push, and you can hear like a crack from the bird as it drops you onto the
Is he
ground.
still
Yeah.
massive?
Yes.
Okay.
And now, can I stand up and resummon my glaive?
Yes, you can, because your glaive would have disappeared.
Alrighty. That's where I'm at.
Okay, as a bonus action, you use some new glaive as you like pull from like the urn at your hip, and the glaive comes back out. Next up is the Thunderbird, and it's going to use its legendary action. I'm going to roll a d6. 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. My brain isn't working. 5. Okay, so it's going to attempt to make a talon attack at you, but first do the wisdom save. 4.
Oh.
So my goodness, like.
Ooh, the curse prevents it from attacking.
This curse is amazing.
Okay, next up is the Thunderbird. Actual turn now. It'll look at you, and it'll kind of like squint its eyes, and I'm going to make a roll to see if I can do this action.
What does that mean?
And it'll arc its look up to the sky and cry out.
No!
And you guys feel all the hairs on your arms stick up.
Oh,
It's
no.
calling its
As-
family.
He's calling it lightning beam.
A crack of lightning crashes down,
Oh my.
and Bree,
I'm
Gray. I was about to put it Gray.
Okay.
Bree, Gray, and Pippin
Holy crap.
must make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh no,
Yeah.
me
You
too.
just got conscious again. You're
Yeah, literally. I think I need to
That's
use my ring.
crazy.
That's crazy.
Okay, that's not bad.
13.
Okay.
Wait, no, I don't have anything for dex. Okay, we'll see what this goes with.
Okay.
15.
8.
Oh.
You all fail
Oh.
the saving throw.
Good.
So you guys are gonna
Why so
take.
close to it?
I was healing Gray.
I think I could probably hit anyone anywhere.
That's a
That
lot
sounds
of
good.
damage.
I hear a lot of red dice rolling.
Yeah, because you gotta roll damage for 3 people.
No,
You guys are
this
gonna
is
take 33 lightning.
I am
Oh.
unconscious.
I am
Yes,
un-
also unconscious.
I have. Oh wait, I think I'm unconscious. I'm unconscious.
Oh my god.
So 3 people
Both our
just fell
healers are
unconscious.
down.
As
Nat's
it's
the healer.
Bree's turn.
Yeah. Alright.
As the lightning settles.
And the spell is broken.
And the
Because
spell,
it was
and
a
the spell is broken.
concentration.
And Gray also shrinks back
It's not
down.
moving, right? It didn't move at all?
It did move. It did not move. It just called lightning.
Is Gray unconscious too?
Yeah.
Everyone's unconscious.
3 of us just went
Yeah.
down. Half the team just went down.
Yeah.
Okay, Bree. Make a death saving throw.
How do I do that?
You just roll a d20.
Roll
D20.
d20.
I should die as first round. Well, that's a 9.
You fail
That's
your
a
first.
That's a
saving throw.
1 failed. So Mac, you saw this crack of lightning. Your vision just comes back, and you're temporarily blinded as this crack of lightning comes. And as the light fades from your eyes, you just see Pippin, Gray, and Bree singed and laying on the ground.
Oh my god.
What the hell?
Who's closest to me?
Bree or Pippin?
Okay, I will. That's within 25 feet, I think, if I'm counting this correctly, right? 5, 10, 15, 20. I think I can
Look
just
at him.
reach.
Tenaculum. Oh shit!
Is
Roll
Tenaculum
a saving throw for Tenaculum.
Oh no. What kind of saving throw am I making?
Dexterity.
Dexterity.
Tenaculum rolls a 15.
15. Tenaculum also takes 33 lightning.
Tenaculum is a puddle.
Is he gone?
Did he blow up?
Yes.
That's 4 members.
Oh.
now.
Tenaculum.
Tenaculum is dead.
Tenaculum's gone for now.
Tenaculum just got electrocuted by lightning to death.
So Gray is like sizzling as like
Oh.
Tenaculum's corpse is bubbling
My
on
hair
his
is
flesh.
standing up and
He's like
everything.
melted silly putty now.
Can I make it to Pippin?
Yes.
I can't tell. I think I can. I think he's just 20.
You were exactly enough to make it to
Okay.
Pippin. Or Bree. If you want to stand right here, you can be Pippin and Bree and Gray.
Fly away.
Do you want to just be one or both?
What the hell?
Oh, that's so bad.
I'll put you beside just Pippin for now.
Pippin's fine for now, yeah. I will reach down and cast Cure Wounds on him
Okay. At what level?
first.
My eyebrows are gone.
What is it?
Oh, sorry.
6.
Oh,
So 11.
11. So
hey.
Pippin's up.
Tenaculum, no!
And then I will just
You can mentor him.
Yeah, I know.
I'll just prepare myself for what's
For
to
death.
come.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to
Literally,
make Pippin
another lightning
Tenaculum roll death saving throws.
Oh,
Yeah. He's a character. Okay.
Okay, he's not dead. He's unconscious.
Okay.
But he's still like a bubbling mass.
Close.
Are you gonna do anything else, Snack?
No, that's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lonan. So you see Pippin gasp. Gray and Bree just like on the ground singed. Tenaculum is like a puddle on Gray's body.
I'm alright.
That Erie's just like.
What's up, guys?
Dude, I have no
My all
idea.
should ran.
You ran back to me.
I have a question. If I were to pull one of them away, would that count? Would that remove? Would that they have to roll for that?
They would get an attack. The bird would get a free attack of opportunity on them because you would be taking it out of its range.
I have no healing. I don't have any potions. I have nothing.
Then just do what you're best at.
All right, I will.
Explosive area.
Just literally kill Bree. Session 1.
I will.
Hope you guys didn't like her too much.
I will do what I'm doing best on. Yeah, I will
Okay.
attack. I guess.
Okay, roll ahead. I mean, you did save like a whole bunch of hits on yourself.
10.
10 misses.
What to do?
Oh no.
I'll attack again.
Okay,
17.
17 hits.
Another. Like yeah, they're 10 feet away from them, right? How far away is are they from it?
How many? They're like beside it.
So they're in front of it.
Mhm.
I wish they weren't so close to it. All right, I will use my. I'm gonna roll. Let's see how much damage I do first.
Okay.
10 piercing damage.
10 piercing damage.
I'm gonna roll 2d6 poison. I'm gonna do another.
Okay, and
Grasping.
you're gonna use your second grasping arrow.
If this okay, so I know it's big, and I know grasping arrow doesn't really give. But can I try to like? Can I try to like grapple? I
No,
guess I
that's
can't
not-
do it.
yeah,
It's not
that's-
even
and
part
then-
of it, right? It's just a thing.
Yeah.
Succeed and increase.
Guys, the plane of air is
8
hard.
poison.
8 poison. Okay.
And that's my.
So I think you can see your arrow actually sticks into its body this time.
and looking at Bree and seeing her. Looking at Bree.
Yeah, you can see they're talking about something they
Okay,
need to talk
looking
about.
at Bree and seeing her pale face like go even more pale because she just like is like slowly fading away. I'm going to run in front, and I'm going to shift into my wolf form, and I'm going to like.
This is as far as you can get.
Really?
Yeah,
How far away was I?
40 feet from the
How did she?
creature.
She's double. She moved twice. Okay.
Bree was closer.
And I'm going to just like, just like let out like a bunch of noise to it to try to get its attention on myself.
Okay.
And I'm going to obviously when I do that I get temporary.
Yep, you can
points.
add your temporary hit points. So next up is Eerie.
I DM.
Yes.
Me and Bruno were trying to figure this out. If I use this, it says each creature.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
even my friends.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not gonna do it then.
That is something.
Yeah.
We thought.
Oh wait. Sorry, it's supposed to be within like 5 feet of you. I know, that doesn't say that. It's a 5-foot radius around you.
Oh,
Yeah,
so I would be okay then.
So if you're closer to
but
the
that's
edge
your
of the-
reaction. So it's only when you get hit.
So you can, if someone hits you, you
No,
can
I
use
know
it,
that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
It's
I didn't want to.
I didn't realize it didn't say. I'm going to rewrite that later.
Okay.
So don't worry.
Okay,
But
I
it's
just
within
wanted to
5
make
feet.
sure I wasn't gonna hurt.
No, they're
other
all over
people.
here. You're like
So as
20
long as I
feet
don't
away
like
from
go
someone.
hug them.
You're fine.
Okay. Alright, well I'm gonna put my crown on.
Okay.
Erie puts her crown on.
Her icy tiara.
Yeah, her icy tiara. And then she's going to go in for the punch again.
Okay.
Even knowing she's gonna take damage.
Okay, roll to hit.
21.
21 hits. You take 1 lightning damage.
Okay.
Now would that be reactionable?
And stunning
It
strike.
says in reaction to a melee attack. It
Oh,
says
okay.
specifically on that one.
Stunning strike.
Stunning strike. Okay.
Let's see it.
11.
Oh! That worked.
14.
Oh, it's stunned! Yay!
Finally.
So as you
that
punch,
means that it is stunned until the end of next turn.
Okay.
Of
So as you
Of
punch and you hit its
Yeah.
leg, you can feel your fist make connection as the static jolts up your arm, and you can feel almost your whole arm go numb. But you can feel that you hit the right point, and the bird kind of freezes.
Okay. And I rolled 5 damage.
Okay. 5 damage, and you can do another attack.
Yeah, I'm going to hit it with my quarterstaff, but double-handed.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can stunning strike with a quarterstaff too.
I can?
Yes.
Oh, I thought I had to do it with my.
No.
Okay.
Future
Well,
future
I
knowledge,
feel silly.
Advantage as well.
and you get advantage because it's stunned now.
Okay.
Feel silly.
You're lucky. It was gonna start attacking you with his legendary actions, and now it can't.
Hey.
Nice. 22.
22. Okay, 22 hits.
And then I get to roll a d8, right?
Yep.
Look, guys, I'm learning.
You are.
Oh my god, I still rolled a 1. Okay. So 5.
5 damage. Okay, and it's like paralyzed. You're like beating on it, and its feathers aren't popping back, and they're like changing from the weird iridescent of the background to
Yeah.
like the sky blue of its
Yeah.
like natural plumage.
So, as my bonus action, can I just hit it again?
Yeah, actually,
Yeah.
if you want to like use another key point, you can like Fury of Blows, but you can just bonus action.
No,
once.
because I only have 2 key points left, and I don't know how much longer we're going to be fighting this.
Okay, then there you
I
go.
might need it for another turn.
Okay,
Ooh, definitely hits. I rolled an 18
yep,
plus.
you're good.
So you can crit though.
Yeah, roll again because you can crit.
Oh,
'Cause
yeah,
you have
do I get
advantage.
still?
Yep.
No.
It's worth a try.
That's a no.
Get rid of those bad rolls, okay?
I know.
So
Okay,
if it's time
it
to
landed
go,
flat still.
That's fine, yeah.
So, 9.
9. Okay.
9.
Dude, you're such
As
a-
you slap and like you stun it, it's not moving, and you're just like
Yeah.
almost like you can't even see
I'm
what's
like
happening.
Rafiki
Yeah. Yes.
with the staff.
Next up is Pippin gasping on the ground.
Yeah, and I'm gonna like put my arm on Nak's shoulder and stand up.
Okay, so that's
Oh,
after movement.
it's nice to have someone help doing all the healing. I've been on my own for so long.
I'm playing great.
And I'm gonna walk over to Gray and like fall on my knees in front of Gray, and I'm like, oh, I just keep reviving him, and he keeps falling.
And you see
unconscious.
Tenaculum on his body, not corpse. Oh god.
Yeah.
So I'm going to use my action to take out a bunch of powder and sprinkle it over Tenaculum to heal him with mending.
Mending. Okay, so Tenaculum bubbles back, and he's kind of all blistery and a little bit darker of a blue than before, but he's okay.
Poor dude.
And then I'm gonna like kind of pet him, and I'm like really tired. And then I'm gonna pull another syringe out of my pocket, and I'm like, this is my last one. And I'm gonna stab it into Gray like adrenaline, and I'm casting Healing Word at level 2.
Oh wow. Because did you use a whole bunch of potions for your spells this morning?
14. You heal 14.
Disgusting.
Yeah.
You didn't even roll well.
No.
No, and it's still 14.
Yeah. And then I'm just gonna like pant.
It's okay as your eyes open again as the second needle of the day.
Literally, I've been getting you up for every one of your turns.
Literally.
Okay, so now it's your turn.
I'm gonna roll over and
Ugh.
I'm going to healing word or lay on hands,
Bree.
Bree
Okay.
for 5.
Lay on
Guys,
slap.
we just did a healing chain.
Yeah.
So Nak healed me, I healed Gray, and you healed
Bree.
Bree. So we all
I-
just went like,
I feel like this is a good time to use the ring
To
because
propose.
we're all
Oh.
gonna freaking die.
So-
he
here.
gets on
I
one knee.
do.
Bree, I just met
Yeah.
you, but you're beautiful.
I like your sass.
So,
Not really one for
so
doing
you
that.
do. I'll let you free action because it's a simple magic item.
Okay.
So you will lay hands on Bree, and the ring that you have, the white radiant ring. No, you have the dark one.
I have the dark one, and I'm
The
gonna
darkest,
start.
the almost like void light.
Yeah.
You will like spin it and send it, and it will disappear.
I'm gonna
Oh
think
my
about
God.
Turilius.
You're sending the ring to Turilius?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so
What
smart.
the freaking
Turilius.
die here, dude?
He's the old wise gift
Yeah.
that helped
He-
us.
Did he say
Oh,
like do
yeah,
this if we
yeah,
needed it? If we needed
Yeah.
anything?
I'm going to, as my bonus action,
Can you do anything?
I don't know.
I don't
I'm trying
so.
to think if like a heal or a spell I have as a bonus action.
Okay.
Um,
Prepare your turn beforehand, Reno.
well, I
You
wasn't
had
thinking I was gonna
so much
revive.
time.
To be honest, I was unconscious.
He wasn't. Yeah.
There's nothing to
He's just
it.
like- That's how it works, right? If you're
While he's
unconscious,
playing
You're
this
unconscious.
out,
You're
what did he do
unconscious.
that
Still
one
in
day?
character.
Oh, I'll level 2. I'll
Remember
misty
when
step.
completely
Or what are
surprised?
those?
Where?
Are those
these are
like
trees.
rocks? Okay.
Yeah, they're like trees and like broken
Where am
trees.
I?
I don't remember what it was. It's so funny.
I'm going to misty step.
Oh.
How far is the distance? 30 feet away.
This is 30.
Let's do it. Let's go behind the tree or something.
And so also, you want to stand up too?
Yes.
Esbri, you see the hand touch you, and then dissolve into like a black smoke and wisp around and rematerialize behind a tree.
And it feels good, but doesn't feel good at the same time.
Yeah, you kind of feel like slimy now.
Like
Just like,
good
like,
Like
you're like,
empty.
Like-
almost more clammy, almost like a
Yeah.
cold sweat has gone on your
Yes.
Like my hands.
Like a
So
cold
next
sweat.
up is the bird, and you can see its feathers like twitching at the end of its wings, but nothing else happens. Bree, it's your turn.
Oh, because it doesn't get
I
its
gotta do my
turn.
roll, right?
No.
Done.
No, you're up. You got healed.
Oh.
You have 5 health, so you were conscious.
Gray healed you
5 HP.
and proposed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Didn't you see the ring? It's on
Yeah,
your finger
it's
now.
magically on your hand.
Yeah.
Yep, you're good.
Okay.
How much?
And then the dice saving throw doesn't count against any others you might have in the future.
So, I am.
How much did you heal me now?
I want to get away.
11. It was pretty good.
I'm gonna get away.
Okay, so you can step. So you can stand up and use half your movement,
Yep.
and so you can move 15 feet. Which direction do you want to go?
Is it gonna get an attack of opportunity?
It's stunned.
Okay,
and
so
you
it can't.
you don't know that though.
Just
Okay.
Yeah, you wouldn't realize because you just woke up.
Okay.
You got lightning strikes, and then this is happening.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna move anyways, but I'll be using a mantle of inspiration. So
Oh,
I'm moving away.
and this is a
without-
bonus action, right?
Yeah, that's a bonus action without the creature getting an attack of opportunity.
And if you use mental of inspiration, I believe it also affects your allies, right?
What does that mean?
It's so
That
she's
makes
using
it
one of her
right.
class features called
Oh.
Mantle of Inspiration. I believe. I'm not.
Okay, I don't have that written down, so
It's
I'm
a
not-
Xanthar's one. Oh,
Yeah.
beside you, actually, conveniently enough, is Xanthar's.
So sorry, what does it mean if it affects us?
So what do you describe what you're doing as you're doing it, and then we'll
So,
get
like,
the effect.
I'm gonna get up and
You're a little singed.
Yeah, not feeling so great. Singed, a little clammy. It's a little
Other
weird.
way. Other way.
And I'm actually going to take out an object from a little kind of like pouch that's at the front of my like belt, and I'm gonna hold it, and I'm not gonna say anything out loud, but there's gonna be like a whistling sound in the air, and then I'm gonna like step away, and then I'll move 15 feet away because that's my movement.
Okay. And so it doesn't say you can't choose yourself. So I'm gonna say you can, but you can also choose up to your charisma modifier of other allies in your area.
Okay.
So you're included, so you can choose 4 more.
Okay, so I'll just choose the other 4 people around me.
So
not
Eerie, not
Gray,
Gray,
the rest
everybody
of
else.
them.
So you guys feel bolstered. You will all gain 5 temporary hit points.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. Lonan,
That's higher than
you.
my
I think I
normal.
might
How many do you
maxed
have
Yeah,
right
literally.
now?
I'm maxed out right now.
No, how
I
many
have an
temporary
extra
hit points do
5,
you have?
So right now I have 10.
From your shift.
6.
Then you don't get any because
I have
they
5
don't
and then I
stack.
get
So you
that.
still only have 6. But then you guys also feel kind of like compelled, like you feel safe to move. That's what I'm gonna tell you.
Okay, I get it.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
We can move without.
Oh, sorry. You guys all get 8 temporary hit points because you're level 5.
Yeah.
Sorry, 8.
Oh,
You
wow.
also so you can pump yours up to 8 on it as well.
Okay.
Can I go above my hit point max?
It's
Yeah.
temporary hit points. So
No, but
these
I'm
are
saying, like,
yes,
Mhm.
temporary hit points
Like,
don't
go
count
up.
as your like maximum.
Okay.
They're different.
Just wondering.
But yeah, so there you go.
There it is.
Yeah, wow.
Nice.
Nice.
Thanks for helping.
Whoa.
You're welcome.
Good
I was
job.
trying to actually like figure out how I was gonna actually understand what I was doing, but I was like, I need to do this.
No, that's good. And then you still have your action actually. So that's a bonus action.
So I'm gonna step
disgustingly,
away
though.
like the 15 feet.
So
that
which
I
way?
can. Just like behind Lonan.
15. Okay.
Yeah.
And you're expecting a hit, and you look over your shoulder and you see the bird actually hasn't moved an inch. You can see its feathers like tensing at the end of its wings, but nothing else.
Okay. And I'm going to let me just pull up my. I do this on myself?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna do cure wounds on myself.
What level?
Actually. Just like
First level spell slot.
yeah.
Okay, good. Then you're all good.
So I'll do that.
Alright.
Okay, sweet.
Yeah.
Healing.
So next up is...
How do
not
you-
hurt
how do
yet.
you- no, everyone else can heal back.
I can't.
You can do it yourself.
So you guys feel a little bit giddy from Bree's actions.
Okay.
So next up is Nyack.
Yes.
Nyack. And you feel bolstered.
Belmont?
Bolstered.
Bolstered. Because you got the timber hit points.
Yeah, I did.
I didn't know that. Oh, it's my charisma. Okay, thank you. So 8 plus.
So I'm not right up to it right now, am I?
You can get there though. It's only 15 feet to get there.
It is. You know what? I am going to. I think I will cast a spiritual weapon.
Oh, okay. So what form does the spiritual weapon take?
An anvil.
An anvil, yeah. The nice
yeah,
flaming
yeah,
anvil with the
yeah.
burning heart of Milona on it
Yes.
once more. Haven't seen it in a while.
So
So where do you want it? This is the anvil.
drop it on its head. It's the attempt's gonna be. Yeah.
Perfect.
And then I will attempt to attack with it.
Okay, so you can roll it. That's part of that's part of the bonus action to summon it.
It's a spell attack, isn't it?
Yep.
Yes. Okay. Cool.
That
No.
is a.
Spiritual weapon never hits. It's just how the spell works. It doesn't hit. But what did you roll?
Spell attack bonus would now. It's your. I didn't update this.
Oh,
So my wisdom modifier
plus your proficiency bonus.
+1 because of that.
Yep.
So that would be
Would it get advantage?
9 plus 9, so 14.
9 plus
9
9
plus 9 is
is
18.
18.
No, I rolled a. What did I roll? 5.
5.
Yeah. So
Oh, 14.
Yeah.
No, 14 misses.
Would it get
Yeah.
advantage or no?
Oh! Ah, oh.
Aren't all attacks supposed to be advantage because it's
Because it's
done?
Is it all attacks?
It's
Yeah, advantage, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Almost a nat 20. It rolled off nat
17.
20.
17 hits though.
Hey,
Okay, cool.
Yeah, 17 hits.
Get that,
That was
anvil in
very-
It was,
there.
Oh,
so, it was like
damn.
on a 20 and then it went.
That would have been so good if it missed and then like was a nat 20 hit.
Yeah.
So the anvil like materializes in this like holy holy burst of flame as it bashes down on its head.
So 8 damage.
As it does 8
8 damage. Yeah.
8 force damage to it.
And then.
And there's like a singed impression on the top of its head, but it still doesn't move.
That's
It's just
stunning
a
strike is so
frown.
good.
I'm going to run up to it, and
5,
I'm
10,
going
15.
to take a swing with sheer cold.
Oh, sheer cold.
Sheer
So the
cold.
battle axe that
Well,
the 4 of you are familiar with, with its shimmering, unmelting blue axe heads, you'll swing it down at it.
Also from the Ice Queen's castle. Like
Oh,
your
that
friends.
was...
Okay, so that would be the first one is 14,
Oh yeah, okay.
and the second
Let's see if it crits then.
is 18.
18 hits.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so deal your damage.
So that'll be 5 points of damage.
5 points of damage. So as you swing at it, and the axe hits, it makes contact, but you notice it doesn't like dig in as far as it should. So 130. Okay. So next up is London.
Finally.
Hang on, how much did I move to get up to him?
15 feet.
Okay, I'll move back 10 feet.
So you're next to Pippin.
Alright.
And Pippin's like panting, and like Tenaculum, like, yeah. Oh wait, no, Tenaculum is just on the ground because Tenaculum did not
Yeah.
teleport.
I step
With
in.
Gray.
So
Tenaculum's just
Wait, did he
like-
get revived too?
I healed.
Yeah.
Yeah, he mended him back to life.
But he does look.
Yeah, he's like a weird color.
So Bree is right behind me. I'm going to like stand large and try to like block her completely so she's not.
Stand
And you look, and you're like, and you realize, why is this wolf here? You recognize it as a shifter, though.
And I'm going to shoot it with another arrow.
Okay.
Looking at my finger quiver.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Another.
With advantage.
Oh right. So it was a 12. But
12 misses.
another one.
Okay.
Oh my god. What is up these?
Oh.
15.
15 hits!
Barely probably.
Literally just.
So 5 piercing.
5 piercing damage as the arrow punctures into, and it like rips off some of the feathers on its wing.
I'm just gonna use my action surge.
Oh, okay. There we go.
Action shirt.
Action
Action
shirt.
shirt.
Action
Action
shirt.
So I got 25.
25 hits.
7 piercing.
7 piercing. Okay, that hits, and you have one more attack.
Here to bang.
Dang.
And fighters can just hit a million times in a turn.
Whew.
Oh, come on, that was so close. Okay. 27.
That hits.
27.
27.
7 piercing.
7 piercing again. Okay. It's still looking like mighty healthy.
What? Yep.
Okay.
Mighty five.
I'm not
This
gonna
is a-
So next up is Eerie. Stunning strike. End of her turn.
End of her turn.
Okay.
Okay.
You could try to chain it, but we don't know.
If you do, yeah. So at the end of your turn, the
Hey.
sun stops.
I know.
Sorry.
Everyone shush. No metagaming.
No. That was a me. That was a DM question.
Okay.
I wasn't sure. I thought it was top.
I'm going to hit with my quarterstaff again.
Okay. Like how? Like tapping it or like?
No, I'm like
Like-
yeah. Well, how am I? Like, where am I?
You get advantage.
Can I reach its head?
No, it's like up there.
It's not pretty high?
It's like 2 stories above you.
Okay, like the meatiest part I can.
Right into
Like
the
when it's
chicken
when
leg.
it's
Right
core,
into
yeah.
shin.
It's like it's drumstick.
And I rolled a 19.
You get
19 hits.
advantage.
Yeah, with advantage. Yeah, sorry.
Oh, maybe
It's still
Stunned.
stunned.
Okay, no. I'm gonna stunning strike again.
Okay. Do I roll with disadvantage?
Nah, I don't think so.
No.
Strength and dexterity, not. Okay. 15.
Whatever.
That was it was a
Um,
6. That was,
That was worth it.
It is very close.
6 damage.
Okay. And then you have your second attack.
Do I save my last key point to try and stunning strike it next time, or do I flurry?
You can still try to stunning strike again this turn.
I know, but I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Oh, okay. I know
I'm
what
saying,
you
do I want to use it or do I want to flurry of blows? I don't know what's more useful. Not having it.
So you hit and it, like dings off the drumstick. As you're hitting, it's like you're like drawing it like it's like the more like of that pale blue than it is of the iridescent in the area that you're hitting at least now.
Okay, I'm just gonna roll to decide what I want to do.
Okay,
'Cause
yeah.
I don't know what I want to do. If it is above 10, I will stunning strike again.
Okay.
Alright, I'm gonna stunning strike again.
Okay.
If I roll to hit.
So roll the hit with advantage.
Okay, I hit. I rolled a 14.
Roll
plus
again.
7.
You might crit. Okay.
Alright, so stunning strike again.
Plus damage.
No.
20.
Damn it.
So 9.
9. Oh, that's
and
a lot
I'm out
though.
of key points.
Who is in the bird's mouth?
But you have bonus action.
That's the end.
That's the anvil.
Oh.
It's like above its head. So you have your bonus action
I'm
still.
just gonna hit it again.
Yeah. So you still get advantage because it's still stunned.
So close. 19 and 16. So
Okay.
no, but I hit it. Oh my gosh, I was rolling the wrong dice. It's D.
No, you rolled d6 this time because you had to punch with your bonus action.
Oh, okay.
You're
Well, then it is a 7.
7? Okay. You still rolling
But
really
I was
good.
rolling wrong
Yep.
before with my quarterstaff.
That's okay. You were just one-handing it then. That's fine. So after that, the bird will kind of shake itself off, and it will look around, and its eyes will like kind of clear, and it will look at you, Eerie. The only one next to it,
No,
and it'll
no.
hit. It will hit.
Oh no.
21 to hit,
Yeah, it hits.
and that's with its talon.
So it's-
I haven't actually had to do any attacks for like ages.
yeah, you've been stunned. That stun bought us time to get everyone up, so good job.
Literally. That
So
was
are you not allowed to stun anymore, or just
She's
Well,
at
I
key
used
points.
up all my key points.
so you can't stun anymore?
Not until tomorrow.
And I can't do flurry of blows. I can't
We
do.
can
After a
like
short
sleep.
rest.
So you were taking 14 slashing
No, let's
damage,
just take a nap.
Okay.
Yeah, let's just take a short rest around the mountain.
and you're gonna take
Maybe
4 lightning damage as well.
Okay.
Yes. Just
Right.
Oh, and it's a talon attack as you were gripped in a vice lock in its claws, and you are now grappled.
Oh god.
So it's holding it?
It's
It's
holding
holding
me.
her.
What do you guys hold?
Yeah.
Make yourself
You
look
have
like
grappled?
a little
Last
baby
year you
bird.
Yes.
Okay, next up is good ol' Pippin.
Oh gosh. Oh.
It's in front of you,
God.
Eerie in its one talon.
Alright, I'll be like, together, Tenaculum, and I'll grab an acid vial, and his cheeks will like puff up with acid. And
Okay,
he'll squirt acid, and I'll throw acid together.
love it. Okay,
So for my attack, 9.
Oh.
9 misses.
For Tenaculum's attack,
Another nat 20.
Oh.
Could you imagine?
17.
17 hits.
Yeah.
You missed the Tenaculum hits.
For Tenaculum.
Tenaculum's the MVP of this
Yeah.
fight. That's
He's still alive. 3.
Wow, way to go,
Good
buddy.
job.
As it like singes and one feather turns to blue.
And then I'm going to run back behind Gray.
5, 10, 15, 20, 30. Okay, now it's Gray's turn. As Pippin's like, ah!
Okay.
And you're back to your regular form. No, you're still Pippin. You haven't got knocked. So you're still Pippin. Pippin's
I'm-
doing some good
I
work.
I'm
can't
Pippin.
concentrate hard enough to change back at this point.
Okay, so I have a
That's
question.
fair.
So it's
Yes.
just Pippin being a badass monk.
Okay, so it says if you drop the weapon
Cool.
or throw it, the weapon dissipates at the end of the turn. Does
Yeah,
that mean
I
I can
have your
throw
turn.
my weapon as a
Oh.
a ranged weapon?
Did you know I had my crown on still?
You didn't get. Wait, oh yeah, you didn't say you want to use your action. Do you want to use your action?
I'm sorry, it's too late. It's after
Yeah,
my
okay.
turn.
Next time, yeah,
But I'm
remember.
just saying, I
Yeah,
haven't
remember.
used
You can use your reaction.
Yeah, okay.
But I can summon it and throw it at him?
Yeah.
Is it a throwable weapon?
No.
Then why would you do that?
But it's a shadow. It's a wind, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You have to read the item.
Yes.
Read the atom.
Read the
It
item.
doesn't really
No,
say
wow.
anything about that.
It's any melee weapon.
Oh, okay. So I'll just make it like a.
Give them away.
It actually would hurt for everyone else.
I'll do a shadow javelin.
There you go.
Throw it at him, and
The
I'm
javelins
gonna.
are melee weapons, technically still.
Yeah, they're spears.
Yeah, you're good.
So I'll pull out a javelin as my bonus action, and
You're gonna have to get like a few feet closer to hit it.
okay,
Yeah.
I'll move just in range out of the tree.
Okay.
I'll throw the javelin
Okay.
Where are you
and
aiming?
at the bird.
Where?
On the bird? I
Um,
wanna picture it.
Yeah, paint a picture in my mind.
Yeah.
Gray.
It's gonna be in the middle between. It's gonna be 1 story and a half. So it's gonna
Okay,
be
so like
something
right, so right here. On the
Yeah,
side of this
30
voice box.
feet up.
Is it 25 feet tall?
It is, yes.
This thing is
The
massive.
bird's just building shit.
So it's 15 feet up, right around the
I'm
base
going
of the
to-
It
stage.
has like
Yeah.
markers.
It's the window on the 3rd floor.
We're the big chicken.
Yeah, it's made out of Legos.
A natural one.
Oh no!
That's what you
Well,
get.
here you go.
Roll a d6. Even is Eerie on his back.
I'm not gonna look at it.
Come on!
That's Eerie. Okay. So,
Roll the
roll a hit.
3.
Oh, this
Even
is.
better. Okay,
So
good.
you feel a gust of wind above your head, but don't see anything. And everybody else, specifically Bree, Pippin, and Gray, you see a javelin flying right at Eerie's head that dissolves before impact.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh.
And then I'm gonna walk behind the tree. And then hide with
I didn't
Pippin.
do anything. Shame.
Because that was your action and your bonus action.
I'm not going close to
So
the thing
next
again, by
up
the way.
is the bird.
The
Depper.
bird.
That bad.
Okay. So the bird is gonna look around
And Erie's there.
and it's gonna fly up. So it's gonna
no.
2d6 slashing damage.
Yep. Do you want me to roll or do you
Yeah,
roll?
you
Oh,
roll.
yeah, you roll.
I know. You can roll if you want.
Nah.
5.
5. That's not bad. So as it flies up, and you can see feathers being ripped off by the vines that are still wrapped around its body. As it lifts up in Eerie, it's gonna be
Oh
flying
yeah, I'm.
Oh,
in its talon, yeah. And it's gonna fly up and swoop. And as it swoops, it's gonna go for even as knack odd is. Okay, it's gonna go for Lonan. It's gonna fly over and do one attack with its beak first as it kind of swoops above
Does
you.
it have Eerie in its beak?
It has me in its
It's one of its
claw.
talons.
Oh.
Where's it moving to? How far?
I'm
It's
like,
flying above you.
I'm like Jane in King Kong has me in his claws.
So that is a
But it's a big
14 to
bird.
hit, Lonan.
And you're like,
Lonan.
I'm
Is that it?
unconscious though.
No, 16 is my AC.
Okay, then you are good. 16. I thought your AC was 15.
It is, but when I have a +1, or when I'm shifted. You sure?
That's not. You chose the other
15,
one.
15.
You don't just get all the shifter bonuses.
yeah, you picked.
We'll allow it.
And then it's gonna swipe with its claws, but miss again, before swooping over your head. with Eerie.
Dude.
Good thing Robert
She's
knows how to play
going.
everyone's
So
character.
Eerie is gonna fly
Yeah, he did.
over and land on the opposite side
Oh,
with
no.
Eerie in its
no.
talons. So I'm gonna put Eerie here
I'm having a grand
And it's gonna-
ride.
and land down.
We can run to the ship now.
Without Eerie.
So
What?
next up is Bree, and you saw it like right over your head fly, and and you can turn and see it land.
Alright.
What is he condo doing?
This is crazy.
He's in his boat way on the other side of
You
the
literally
He's just like,
just
hey.
left the city you were living in.
This was not the day I was expecting when I woke up this morning. I'm just gonna tell you.
You were just in the office having a day, filling out some paperwork.
Having my beer.
Yeah, you're 6
I am going to pull a coin out of my pocket.
Okay, so what kind of coin are you pulling out of your pocket?
It's a platinum.
So Bree pulls out a platinum coin out of her pocket.
And I'm gonna open my palm and it's gonna like levitate.
Okay.
Ooh.
And I'm gonna like whisper to it.
Okay. And as you're doing this, Nak, you can roll perception really quick. And you keep going.
And then as I whisper to it, I'm just gonna flick my nose ring.
Yeah.
And the coin is going to shoot towards the bird.
Okay. And so you see her do all this.
So I have to do an attack, right?
And I believe it
Is
should
it
say.
my
let me
like? It just doesn't say anything about like what I.
see. Yeah, it doesn't say.
So is it like my attack bonus,
Probably your spellcasting bonus.
or is it my spell? That was my question.
It's based on. Let me see your stats.
Sorry, guys.
It's
No,
okay.
don't worry. This is a
We're
new thing
learning
for all of
first time.
us.
We're learning together. But next time,
Yeah.
you better have that down.
It's okay. Last
Next
week I rolled the wrong dice, thinking it was.
So
gonna be
it's a
20.
weapon you're proficient at, and you can use your spellcasting ability modifier for it.
Okay.
That's okay. Travis still doesn't know how to play his
So
character.
do a spell. It's a spell attack.
Okay.
A spell attack.
Yeah.
So I roll plus my spell.
Yep,
Okay.
exactly. And then the damage is.
Jeez.
You just see the camera showing. Take you out of it.
So it's 14.
14 just misses as the coin flies, and the gold it doesn't
Platinum.
quite hit.
Platinum.
The gold coin clatters to the feet in front of it.
Weird.
Oh.
Aw.
Damn you. And then that was actually
Bonus action.
that was a
right?
bonus action.
Well, I think so. No, I think that's the action.
No.
Because the bonus action is the other one.
What other
Let
one?
me see. Sorry. Wait, is it still
No,
on?
it says action or bonus action.
Oh, does it?
It just says action or bonus action you can use.
Oh, then you're fine. Good.
Uh-huh.
Good.
Okay,
But
confirm.
I don't really have anything else to do. So
Do you have a
I am
cantrip you
going
use?
to not really. I'm just gonna like move another I don't know, like 15 feet away from it.
Okay.
Towards the ship though.
Oh, towards the ship. Okay.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah, specifically.
Yeah.
Getting ready.
Okay, so next up is Nak. Sorry, that was really good.
Okay, so I will move my anvil 20 feet towards.
5, 10, 15, 20. It's just kind of like, it's like 20 feet in the air, just floating.
And then how far away am I? 5, 10.
You're 20 feet away from it.
Well, but that was a problem, wasn't it? I think I will. I think I'm gonna cast guiding bolt.
Guiding bolt? Okay, what level?
1.
Level 1, okay.
Yeah.
So as you
Ooh,
conjure
yes.
this flaming radiant sphere in your hand, it fires out of your hammer.
So I rolled 19 plus 8.
Okay, that hits.
So, does this give me bonus to damage as
No,
well?
only attack roll.
Only attack rolls. Okay, cool. So that will be 46.
46.
46
No,
damage.
4d6s.
Oh.
Oh my god. I was
40.
like, if that doesn't kill it,
Seven.
I swear.
Yeah, it looks
Oh,
It
not
looks
even.
healthy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fine.
14 damage.
14
Spring
damage.
chicken.
Yeah.
As it fires, and it hits right in, and like almost like a flaming scorch mark of blue feathers appear on its chest, and it's like a third blue at this point. It's looking hurt.
We have 2/3 to kill still.
Run to the boat. We need to get away.
So next up is
We need to
Lonin.
Yeah.
I think it
Attack.
Okay, so you can do your 2 attacks.
Yeah, I don't know. Come out of flying ships.
Literally.
Oh, 13.
13 misses.
Guys, I'll combine the bags of holding.
Yeah.
No.
You only have 1!
22.
Okay, that hits.
4 piercing.
4 piercing damage as the arrow flies and just like nicks off of its talon.
Seeing as they're approaching, like the,
Oh, hang on a second. Did you roll with advantage?
no.
Roll with advantage.
Oh, yes, you would. Yeah.
So
Why?
okay, fine. For the
Yeah,
first
for
Gotta
the-
roll-
for the first roll, I roll like a 13, like you
Yep.
said. So for the first
So this
roll,
is for the second one, and then you can see if the next
Nice.
one crits.
Okay, so for the first run, it's now a 22. For the
Okay,
first
that
one.
hits. So roll your damage for that one, and then you can see if the next one crits.
Does the guiding bolt like
so 5
redirect
piercing.
it?
5 piercing?
I
Hang
don't
on,
know.
I don't know if it's.
No, you wouldn't roll for the second one because
Yeah.
the first one you got advantage on.
Regardless,
Yeah.
the second one I did hit anyway. So
Yeah.
So Erie's grappled. How far away is it from me at this point?
25 feet?
And it's holding it with its talon.
Yeah, like
That's
one
in
talon.
in the air though.
No, it landed again. What do you mean in the air?
Oh,
Just
sure.
talon's like holding it, like ear's like a foot off the ground. Are you just looking at the map? I love it.
Well, you can see it.
Yeah, I mean it's
Okay.
good.
That's fine. I will just I will back away a little bit further to get closer to where Bree is.
10. Okay. So next up, or before the end of the round, it's gonna look at Eerie
And squeeze
and
it.
try to peck at you.
Squeeze you.
Yeah. So, I don't think I get advantage because you're grappled. I don't think so.
Is
No, I do not. So I just have to attack normally. 27.
I'm wearing my crown.
You can do that. So what do I have to roll?
So you have to roll. You must succeed in a DC 14 Dex saving throw or take 2d8 cold damage.
Does it say half as much on a failed?
Pardon?
Never I don't think so.
No.
It says. In addition, you can.
No, that's a different thing I can do.
So it says.
So no. It for dexterity, it did 20.
It passes.
So it passes. So as it grips, you hear Eerie cry out as shards of ice come up out of the ground, but nothing hits the bird. And you, Eerie, are gonna take 7 bludgeoning damage and 1 lightning damage.
Okay.
Okay. So next up is Eerie's turn. Top of the round.
I can't do anything. Grappled.
You can try to break it.
You can still attack, actually.
You can still attack while you're grappled, yeah.
With
Really? I
advan-
thought it
with
says
advantage.
that I'm incapacitated. Can't take actions or reactions.
Grappled?
Yeah.
Let me see.
The condition ends. It ends if the grappler is
Yes.
incapacitated.
Yes. I was like, no, you're not. That'd be OP.
Yeah.
I hold your arms, and you can do nothing.
So you can like
God.
kick it whilst you're down.
Can I swing my? I have my quarterstaff in my hand.
Yeah, you can still.
Yeah, but you would only be able to do one-handed.
That's
though.
fine. 19.
19 hits?
Good job.
Do I have advantage?
No.
Like
No.
you have?
No, because it was only for one of his attacks because of the guiding bolt.
Just reroll anyways. You won't notice. It's too far away.
Lonin, roll a DC 100 dex saving throw.
Yeah.
1
I
million
drank two
damage.
potions.
So do I still get 3 actions then?
Yeah, you can still attack action twice and bonus action attack with your fist.
Yeah.
So,
So wait, what was that damage?
6.
6, okay.
Keep going.
I'm gonna,
So you're just like pummeling its foot.
Oof. Second one does not hit.
What was the roll?
2 plus 7 is 9.
No.
Yeah.
No.
And
Use your
then
fists.
I'm gonna. I don't want to drop my quarterstaff though.
So
how am I
kick.
gonna- yeah. Would kick be the same as fist?
Yeah, you can kick.
Okay.
They're just offhand attacks.
17.
17 hits.
Five.
5? Okay. So as you're punching, and you actually notice that with your last kick, you feel a dampness on your foot, but you can't see why. Next up is Pippin. And you can the bird like landed really close to you.
You were trying to get away from it. It was like.
I have a question. Can I run up behind Lonan?
How far is that?
No. You'll be 10 feet away.
I had a cool idea, but I can't do it. Okay, I'll save it for next time on AllFunNDice. I'm gonna throw acid vials.
Okay. Vials!
That hits! Yes, 20 something.
That hits.
20 something.
For you?
For me? No, shut.
Wow.
12 acid damage.
12 acid damage, wow.
Nice.
Fun
So,
fact.
where do you want to hit it?
I want to like take the bottle and like kiss it and be like, and then I'm gonna like kick one leg up in the air like a baseball pitcher. And
And it splashes on the wing and just splatters out across it as you can hear the sizzle.
Is it a curve
And
line?
as before,
Yeah.
you know some of the acid like wore off of it before, but you notice that this time it starts to burn the feathers.
Cool.
Ooh.
And then Tanakulum will switch forward and do his own little acid spit. And
Nice rolls.
he rolled a 20.
That,
Oh,
that?
nice.
No.
No, it would have been way more exciting.
True.
Has Tinaculum ever rolled a nat 20?
He did that at the beginning of the
Did
combat,
he?
yeah.
5 acid damage.
Yeah! And again, that hits. And the bird actually kind of like, it hits its leg, and it kind of actually starts to slouch from it.
Okay.
So it still is holding Eerie.
And that's my turn.
Next up is Great.
I'm gonna see it land next to me with Eerie in his foot or hand
Claw.
claw. I'm gonna summon my glaive again and I'm gonna run at it. And
Okay.
I'm gonna go
Within how many feet?
10 feet.
His
Okay.
bird hand.
And I'm gonna go for a swing arena.
Swing Arena.
No.
18, 20
That
something.
hits, yeah, there you go.
Alright, we're gonna do a smite again.
Oh, Smite Arena.
Smite arena. That's what we do. And that's gonna be a level
That's what
1.
we do.
Level 1, okay.
And let's start it off with
How much damage first?
that is going to be, because this is going to be the +1 glaive, 11 points of damage.
11. Wow, okay.
And we're going to do 2d8s.
Remember, these ones don't get the +1 from the glaive, yeah.
4.
4, okay.
So 15 damage.
So as you do, and is it the same like tornado strike kind of thing that hits?
Yeah, it's going to be like the tornado slash.
And as it hit, and as you slash through, a big like wind blade almost appears at the end, made of dark energy, and it kind of the bird stumbles and almost drops Eerie.
Drop me.
Almost
drop
drops
me,
Eerie
drop
as
me.
it stumbles and lands on one wing. It's like kind of like struggling on the ground, but it's still upright.
Okay.
Can I yell?
Yeah, sure.
Kill it!
And then as I do the one swing, I'm going to like spin around and go around for another swing.
Tornado strike.
Yeah, like a Beyblade did. It's going to be an 18.
18 hits.
Smite again.
Smite again, level 1.
Yep.
Okay.
And to start, that's going to be 13 points of damage.
Nice.
Wow. Okay.
5, 10 points more.
20 points more
23.
damage.
God,
As you do
23?
your Beyblade strike, as you spin,
I'm literally whirlwinding.
Finally
you manage to
some
spin a
rules.
strike,
I know, eh?
and it hits it right in its abdomen as it's falling, and then the first draw of blood comes as it opens up, and the first blood that he sees.
Okay.
Okay.
My foot touched something wet.
As you spin, it slices, and again, and again, and again. Boom, boom, as it collapses and falls.
Yeah!
And its claw opens. And that's where we're gonna end this session of AllFunNDice!
Tornado attack!
How much? Like, well, I guess it's not like a thing we're doing.
Do you guys want to know how much health it had?
Yeah.
Yeah.
253.
Oh
You guys all, honestly, you guys all did really good stuff. Honestly, if you didn't curse it, you probably would
Or
have
if
like
I
fallen
did
way
it.
earlier, and
Oh,
it would
yeah,
have been
that'd
way
This
be
is
worse.
the record for
It would have been
most.
way. The stunning strike was like crazy town.
Oh,
This
good
is
job,
the record for
everybody.
more
Change it back.
unconsciousness than one person. in
Yeah,
one fight.
3 unconscious
Yep.
and like 1 strike.
And
Do
2 on
we-
1.
You guys got lucky. It never was able to get that
Do
like
we level
strike
at all or
back.
no?
Not yet.
Are you kidding me? Or so? We must be
You,
close.
Bree has had 1 session at level 5.
She doesn't have to level. Just kidding.
She doesn't have to level.
Welcome back, Les and Daniela again. Bree and back. Super excited to have them again.
I don't know if you want to
Feels so
explain
natural.
Willowa like why Willow didn't come back in your own
Yeah.
words? Just because I
yeah.
saw people were asking. like,
Yeah,
why.
for sure. So a couple of reasons. The main thing is that she was like she considered her crew, being the captain especially, as her family. So the fact that she found them before she left, it would have been a very difficult thing for me to like make a reason why she would leave them again. She never really left them in the first place. She just like got separated from them. So that was my biggest kind of concern with bringing Willowa back originally. I just couldn't think of a good reason why she would leave her crew members, and like she loved being a captain on the ship. She loved the sea. That's the character that I wanted her to be. So the fact that that's where we left her, I didn't really want to take her away from that. It also just ended up being a really great opportunity for me to make this other character that I'm really loving. So I hope you guys really like her.
She's
too.
very cool.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm really excited to be back.
Yeah, and hopefully by next week you'll see the new character art for Bree.
Okay,
Yeah.
so like,
Yes.
awkward.
Very
We're not
excited.
actually going to be playing next week.
Oh,
we have
that's
some
right.
prior
Sorry.
commitments.
I'll be
Um,
DMing next week though, so
No.
when it gets
I
inspiration,
mean,
level up to
And you heard that.
23, level
That's a
23.
promise.
There we go.
Yeah, we'll be taking a break next week, but
Yes.
we'll be back the week after.
Actually, I'm pretty sure that's Valentine's Day that we're gonna come back on.
Oh,
Ooh.
romantic.
So
So we're all gonna be
probably
naked.
beautiful stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you can't prove that we aren't
Yeah.
already from the waist down.
Maybe we'll all wear like pink and red,
Like,
be
something
fun.
fun, right?
Yeah.
and Lonan and Pippin will finally.
and we'll
Yeah.
let's let's exchange Valentines.
Yeah.
Yes, there we go.
Aww.
Very cute. Very
Very
cute.
cute.
a big shout out,
Kawaii.
a big shout out to Spirit. Thank you so much, Spirit, for
Yes.
Thank you.
all these
Thank
amazing
you.
things.
Best bag
Appreciate it.
ever.
These are so
I don't know
cool.
what
If
that
you
the
wanna
whole
see-
party is all bagged up.
I
So
know.
sadly you
Vote
can't
now.
see mine and Nick's, but if you want to see more, you can go to our Instagram page.
Yeah, I've been
at
posting them, and I'm
AllFunNDice.
gonna post pictures of these ones as well.
And guys, I'm honestly, the backdrops look freaking so
Yeah.
good.
Yes.
So
They
good.
make a huge difference. So I hope you guys enjoyed it because it was something that we were thinking about for a while to get rid of like the white background and stuff, and like just like watching when things like switched over. Like I love the books behind Rob. Like I love the bricks; they look really good.
Looks awesome.
Travis
So-
and my mom spent hours
Yeah,
today
we had to like
putting these
we
up.
had to put them up, and like I didn't want to attach them to the wall, so we kind of like sticky tacked them on and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I hope you guys like it. I hope it looks good.
Yeah.
Oh, and
There
someone
was a-
asked, the art is done by Railgunner.
Yeah,
He's actually
Railgunner.
in chat right now.
Yeah.
Yes, he is, and he
Yep.
was amazing and does some great work.
Super
The
talented.
Brie art looks incredible.
Yep.
The Knack one is going to look incredible as well once it is up for the next
Yep.
session.
Yep.
Thank you all for coming again, and don't forget to
Stick
stick
around.
around.